Strong storms with damaging winds, even possible tornadoes, and it stretches from the upper Midwest all the way to the south. This is a threat that will continue overnight and into tomorrow morning. We'll tell you who's in store for a sleepless night as potentially destructive storms blast southward. And our countdown to hurricane season continues. Tonight, hurricane expert Dr. Rick Knapp explains how the coronavirus pandemic might actually have a silver lining when it comes to a landfalling hurricane in the Gulf. It's all next on Weather Underground. Welcome into the show. I'm Alex Wilson. Storm specialist Mark Elliott. Man, things have really upped the ante in terms of severe weather.
Yeah, hope you guys like hearing about severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, because everyone in the center of the country, if there's thunder, you basically have a warning now. And Alex, I think that trend is going to continue.
Yeah, it's really intense. All the way down into the Oklahoma City metro area. We've got crews out there stationed in the metro, and you can see things have taken a turn for the stormy. Earlier, we had the sunshine across the area, but the storm's developing, rain showers beginning. And Mark, as you mentioned, if you've got thunder, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for most of this area.
Yeah, basically from Oklahoma City all the way to north of Joplin. That is a line of storms that is blasting on through. It's moving into an area that's actually even more favorable for severe weather. We have more instability to tap into. We have a better wind profile through the atmosphere to get some rotation, especially on that front edge. And eventually, these storms are all going to work together. They're like the Avengers tonight, pooling their rain-cooled air together, surging forward with a big wind event that could go all the way back down to the Gulf of Mexico by tomorrow morning. So if you're somewhere in between Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, and, I don't know, Houston to New Orleans, chances are you're going to have more storms before today and tonight are done. Again, all these watches continue until 11 o'clock. This is the main cluster of storms that we've been following. Again, everybody in there has a severe thunderstorm warning, couple of tornado warnings to talk about. So let's start there. We'll zoom in right along that Kansas-Missouri border. This is Joplin, Missouri, unfortunate, infamous tornado town. On the north side of town, we have a huge curl forward with our normal mode of the radar. What looks at the precipitation rate, how heavy the rain or the hail may be. It shows us the formation of the raindrops, how they present with the very heavy or light nature out there. When you see that curl, that indicates very strong winds pushing that rain forward. And so we're seeing that right now just north of Joplin with a very strong signature for straight line winds. What we can also see, just look at the red colors here. The red colors come up and then wrap back around kind of like this. So sometimes you can get these spin up tornadoes either in the kind of the comma head of that signature or right along that front edge. And so there's a couple of potential for spin up here for Barton, for portions of Cherokee, then into Jasper County in Missouri. And what you're looking at on this mode of the radar is the actual movement of the raindrops. These blue colors right in here, those are 60 to even 70 mile per hour winds. They're hauling. So those are the straight line winds really barreling on forward. However, there's also inflow to this storm curling back in. So where those meet up, the different wind direction, right? There's that shear, that turning. You could wind up with a tornado threat right there. And that's what we're watching for. No sign of debris at the moment. Let's go down the line, however, because pointed right at Tulsa, brand new tornado warning just issued by the National Weather Service as I was talking. It's Osage and Tulsa counties. So if you're hearing that, alert on your TV, if the sirens are starting to go off, it is for the storm that is approaching from the north, not the one that's already raining on the south side. Some overlapping precipitation there, but brand new tornado warning coming in from the north here. Let's take a look at some of the the setup with this storm. Right in here, we've got this clear couplet where the reds and greens are right next to each other. I'm going to leave that arrow on the screen. Let's go back to that other mode of the radar because, again, and even another tornado warning, we'll get to that one in a second, northeast of Tulsa. Here's that inflow notch, right? You've got that wind screaming north into the storm. We know that we've got wind coming out of the rain-cooled side, and those are now intersecting right in here. So let's get a little bit closer in to that storm. Notice the hook right there as well. Another indicator of a very strong storm, and it's meeting up perfectly with this. And now newest scan doesn't look as impressive, but there is still a wind shift there. Hopefully this does not turn into a big-time tornado, but we'll look at the correlation coefficient, and unfortunately there's a bit of a dropout right there. Let's go back to the traditional mode of the radar and see if there's anything to hit there. Maybe. This is a lot of clear air. And so what we're seeing is that there's nothing for the radar to bounce off of in that area. But it's also in a spot that could have some of that rotation. So that's something that we've got to watch pretty carefully, just in case that it turns into debris as opposed to just clear air. For now, I'm saying that that is probably the radar just not having anything to bounce off of. Let's go back a little bit here because we want to take a look at that newly issued tornado warning just northeast of Tulsa, just outside of the Doppler radar site. This is Mays and Rogers counties for your tornado warning. Very similar story. Here's our inflow air coming this way, rain-cooled air surging forward. Those meet up right in here, and because of that, I think we do have at least some potential for a tornado with this area where those greens and blues in this case get real close to the reds. A very strong wind potential with these for sure. Now the question is, will that translate into a tornado? And again, there's an interesting kind of hole in the radar right where those winds meet up. Again, I think it's right on that front edge where you wouldn't necessarily have anything for the radar to bounce off of. See, you're in that little notch where there's just not that much going on, but it's also in the spot of best rotation. So we can't really guarantee the technology here saying that there is or is not a tornado. It's certainly in an area that is very favorable to see tornadoes as we go through the next several hours. And finally, I want to look at Oklahoma City, because this storm has been developing rapidly, and even some more development coming down the line from the Oklahoma City area. And so because of that, we have these kind of couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Canadian, Cleveland, Oklahoma counties underneath the severe thunderstorm warning. Very gusty wind potential there. You could certainly see straight line winds to 60, maybe even a little bit more. But it's not out of the question that this is in a, that kind of same environment with the winds screaming from the south to start that rotation and give you the chance for tornadoes. So all of this will eventually pool together. We have tornado potential north of Joplin, a couple of different tornado warnings on either side of Tulsa, and then storms that go all the way down the line to west of Oklahoma City. Eventually, all of this becomes one giant Boeing segment that'll be pointed towards places like Fort Smith and then continue south into that unstable air as we go through the rest of the night. And that is why we have such a huge zone of wind potential across this area. Yes, we know we spend a lot of time focusing in on that tornado threat. Many more of you are going to be dealing with the straight line wind threat as we go through the night. Very likely to see strong wind potential. Kind of coupled with that will be the hail. These are very strong updrafts, and so it's pretty likely that these storms, especially right now, now's the best time for that hail potential outside of the Tulsa area. Not only are we seeing rotating storms, but also strong updrafts that'll support hailstones aloft. So basically the bottom line here, Alex, is that all modes of severe weather are in play, and that we could see all kinds of risks as we go through the next several hours, and then the wind threat continues well through the overnight.
Yeah, already things are playing out as intensely as we anticipated. Now, on the backside of this, we've got a dust storm across the southern Nebraska area this afternoon. This is the town of Holdridge. You've got very dry conditions combined with the wind, resulting in red flag warnings for possible fires and also some dust storm warnings across North Kansas and southern Nebraska. But of course, all eyes are on the action that Mark has been tracking right now. We've got our first complex of thunderstorms still moving through sections of Louisiana, Mississippi, and a bit of Texas. That area will get another round of storms courtesy of the area that we're watching right now into Oklahoma. Mark talked about what a prolific wind maker this is going to be. Well, that's going to make its way all the way down to the Gulf Coast into tomorrow morning. So the future radar tells the story. Watch as that line continues to develop and roll right across parts parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Texas by midnight. Eventually, we're going to get Louisiana, Mississippi in the mix during the early morning hours of your Wednesday. And by mid-morning tomorrow, say 7, 8 o'clock, we're looking at Baton Rouge, New Orleans getting in on a punch of strong winds. So I think power outages will really begin to increase later tonight and through the overnight hours. We got to watch for downed trees. If you're heading somewhere tomorrow morning after the storms have rolled through, be prepared to see some tree debris out there on the roads, and use caution. Watch for that, particularly when it's dark and it may be tough to see what's in the roadway. Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex looking at 11 to 1 a.m. That'll be your best time frame. So probably after the kids have gone to sleep, maybe even after you've gone to sleep, you've got those strong storms moving in. Could bring you the hail, the damaging winds. Isolated tornado, not out of the question, but I think wind for most of us will be what we're really seeing out of the storms tonight. Texarkana to Shreveport, same for you. Now, Texarkana will be up first, say around 11, 12 o'clock local time for the onset. I think we'll be a little post-midnight for Shreveport, so getting into that 1 to 3 a.m. time frame for your strong winds. Those storms quickly moving out, so behind that, things will be much calmer into tomorrow morning, but of course, the winds could leave some damage in their wake. Want to get back to Mark in the lab for more of those tornado warnings coming in.
Yeah, and right now along this line of storms, we were worried that as this line went into that even more favorable wind profile through the atmosphere, where you have very different wind directions with height and wind speed with height, that we'd start to get more of these kind of spin-up tornadoes. Unfortunately, it looks like that is coming to fruition. We've got one of those big surges forward right north of I-44, just north of Joplin in Missouri, and a couple on either side of Tulsa. You could make the argument that you may need maybe 2 or even 3 more tornado warnings on this line across Oklahoma. There's some very interesting kind of spin-up spots along that line, and we'll get to all those. Let's start off in Missouri, where we're north of I-44, just outside of Joplin. Joplin, the worst of the winds have just come through you. They're now moving on to the east side of town, but very strong wind potential here on that north side. This is Barton and Jasper. Tornado warning until 6:30. Look at that signature. When you have those blue colors surging forward like that, those are, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, and we're not seeing all the way down to the surface here because we're not right on top of the radar here that's coming out of Springfield. So you could, easily see 70 mile per hour winds, and then there is that chance of some, rotating winds somewhere on that front line. There's no immediate sign of debris with this storm, but I think a lot of you are just getting absolutely slammed there north of Joplin with strong straight line winds, maybe some spin-up tornadic winds on that front edge as well. Then you look at these storms that are including to the Tulsa area. There's also one here in Claremore, which is arguably even stronger, and then back towards Lawrence Creek, as well as just outside of Alou. All of these areas could have tornadoes spinning up right now. And so let's start off with the Osage and Tulsa area. You look at the rotation here, and there is a couplet right in here. Let's get a little bit closer into that one. We'll go back to the traditional mode of the radar, and then we will kind of switch that to the rotation. This is the inflow notch, a little bit of that rain-cooled air surging back around. And so here is the motion of those raindrops. And you can see this couplet right here, north of Sand Springs, potential for a tornado there. Nothing confirmed at the moment, but certainly enough that tornado warning is absolutely still necessary across this area. And we can give you a live look into the Tulsa area, where the rain is just absolutely coming down fast and furious, right? Very difficult travel conditions, and that's obscuring our view of the sky just a little bit as well. And so you can see some lowering as I'm leaning in trying to see the pictures along with you. Let's go now to the northern warning near the Claremore area, because this one, brand new warning, kind of update on that warning. Look at this little kind of appendage right there. That's our inflow notch, and then the rain-cooled air is surging forward somewhere near Claremore. So with that, we have a very clear rotation signature right in here. where we have that kind of meetup of the reds and greens, you are right next to the radar here. So you're getting a pretty good look at the low levels of the storm. Are we seeing any debris in this area? Hold on, let me go back to that for you. If we're seeing any debris in that area, nothing imminent. This is, again, I think nothing in the atmosphere as opposed to debris. There's nothing for the radar to bounce off of. But again, you could see that kind of spin up tornado here at just about any point. Alex, this same line of storms goes all the way up towards the Midwest, including the Chicago area.
Yeah, Chicago getting stormy now. The good news is no severe warnings, but as we always say, Mark especially, any storm that's producing lightning could be dangerous. So inside where you need to be, we give you a live look right now. You can see the rain coming down in addition to all the lightning around Chicago, down towards Joliet area as well. Again, this is all the same storm system from the Midwest down into the southern plains. We've got a few severe warnings to the north of Springfield and also on the southwest side of Springfield. So again, watching for the damaging winds, possibility of hail. And we're going to watch this area for the chance that we get an isolated tornado warning as well. But moving forward, you can see those storms lining up and even a wind threat across the northern tier of this line of storms. I think by the morning hours, the wind may die down, but the rain, the thunder, that will continue into tomorrow morning for parts of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and parts of western Kentucky. We've also got rain to start the day in Detroit. On the north side, tomorrow will be another rainy day with gusty winds, particularly in the northern plains. We'll be right back.
It's there in the reworking. Satisfaction in the never satisfied. They thrive in the spaces unfinished. They live in the make it better. These are the reworkers. This is how they forge their way.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once. Huh? Why so many?
See you in the morning.
Okay,
bye,
sounds
Mom.
great. Come in.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
We see some pretty extreme weather here in Iceland. Blizzards all winter, winds at 150 miles per hour. If the roads aren't cleared, people can't get anywhere. But no matter how crazy it gets, we know when and where to get to work. Data on the IBM cloud helps us maintain 8,000 miles of roads across the country. It helps keep millions of our visitors and our own families safe.
You guys ever tried one of these bars made over at Right Twix?
Why? Our special cookie is cascaded with caramel and cloaked in chocolate.
Never wondered?
Try both. Pick a side. Twix.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. Amanda Nunes wears hers with pride. From standing up for herself against the doubters, to being the only woman in her MMA training gym. Amanda refused to let stereotypes get in her way, whether inside the octagon or out. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from. It matters what you're made of. Modelo, the official beer of UFC.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering current Chevy owners OnStar Crisis Assist services and complimentary Wi-Fi data. To help keep you on the road, the Chevy Certified Service Experts are here and ready to help if you require parts, maintenance, or repairs. You can even schedule your service appointments online. It's just our way of doing our part.
New Yorkers, cover your nose and mouth to prevent the spread of coronavirus. If you need to go outside to run essential errands, always wear a face covering to protect others. Remember, You can be contagious before showing symptoms. Make a face covering at home. Use a cloth, bandana, or scarf. Wash daily and dry completely. And save medical-grade masks for our healthcare workers.
You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Hey. To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 57 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. South winds shifting to north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower. High 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers, low 50. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Underground. We're taking a live look here at a couple of our storm trackers that are in these storms. This is from Charles Peak as well as Brett Adair, both in Oklahoma at this point. Look at the views in the Tulsa area. Just crazy heavy rain at this point. Extremely difficult travel conditions. And honestly, there are tornado warnings that now include Tulsa and the south side of Tulsa. You see a couple of these cars hiding out under the underpasses, something that we tell you not to do. If there are tornadic winds, they'll be stronger there. They get funneled underneath those overpasses. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to, stay protected from the hail threat, but it can cause bottlenecks on the roads and really be a problem. So the best bet is to know that these storms are coming and not be out on the roads at all when the weather like this is going to be barreling on through. And taking a live look here along that big curl, and we'll keep those images on the screen for you as I tell you the storms that we're following. We're going to focus in largely on this zone, tornado watch, eastern Oklahoma, southwest Missouri, a little portion of Arkansas as well. Several tornado warnings in a big complex of thunderstorms that is now moving through that very area. We'll start off on the Missouri side, just north of Joplin. Huge surge forward of wind with those storms. Joplin basically in the clear now with regards to the worst of the wind. That front edge has made it to the east side of town, traveling along 44. Still a tornado potential, though, for portions of Barton and Jasper. Anywhere along this line, especially where we have these little bends and wiggles. So one of those kinks right in here, one of them right here, those could indicate kind of spin-up tornadoes on the front edge of what is otherwise very strong winds. More than enough straight-line wind to cause damage in its own right. So again, respect these warnings tonight in southwest Missouri, generally headed towards the Springfield area. Then we get into Oklahoma. Goodness gracious, 4 different tornado warnings, 2 rotation potentials on that north side, northeast of Tulsa, north of the Doppler radar site, 1 basically in Tulsa and dropping down to the south. I want to show you these 2, however. These are very wrapped up. Mays and Rogers tornado warning until 6:30, so another 10 minutes. Maybe stealing some of the show from that one is the newly issued tornado warning just north of there for Delaware, Mays and Rogers. You can almost see the rotation right in there. My goodness, a big surge forward like this, that rain cool air surging forward, the rain-free air wrapping into our storm. And so you can see both of those rotation potentials, one just out of the Bushy Head area, another one east of Claremore. Either one of those, if not both of those, could kind of give us a spin-up tornado at just about any point. No confirmation of a tornado in progress, but enough on the Doppler radar to suggest that you could have a tornado there at just about any point. Then you go to Tulsa itself. Here's Tulsa. Look at this line of storms that's just blasting on through. I'm going to briefly turn on the lightning just to give you an idea of the electrification of these storms. If I were to leave this on, you wouldn't be able to see anything else, right? There's that much lightning. It completely covers up the storm. So let's remove that once again. We were following this area, the kind of the northwest side of Tulsa. The leading edge of that has continued some rotation. So Creek and Tulsa, tornado warning, mostly on the south side. That kind of rotation couplet not nearly as pronounced as it was just a few moments ago. Let's zoom in for you. And then we'll step this back in time, and you can really see that red and green couplet area. You see that just outside of 97, then crossing over towards Tulsa, and then continuing to basically here. So a chance for a rotation here at just about any point. There's certainly a surge forward of the wind, and then a chance for a rotation component on the south side of Tulsa right now. Doesn't look as well put together as it did even a little bit ago, and let's hope that trend continues. And then, Alex, you look at Oklahoma City. The south side of Oklahoma City has fast development of thunderstorm action. No rotation here at the moment, but that could change. The atmosphere is pretty favorable for rotation through here as well.
Yeah, and we know these storms have been producing some hail, Mark. Nickel to dime size hail falling in a backyard here in Oklahoma City. And you know you're in Oklahoma when it says Boomer Sooner, right? This was not long ago. Actually, metro area, OKC reporting hail up to an inch in diameter. So that's that quarter-sized hail, the largest hail report so far today. Yukon, Oklahoma, 2 inches in diameter. And it is that corridor there through northeastern Oklahoma that has the greatest risk of the hail today. But, of course, areas around and east of Oklahoma City all the way down to the Red River are spots to watch. And this kind of lines up pretty well with where we would typically see the most hail days in a given year. So it's usually there across the plains states where we get that likelihood of some large hail. That inflow of the warm, moist air into the storm that Mark's talking about. We get updrafts within the storm itself, and these can be very, very strong, in excess of 100 miles an hour, that down to up motion. So that lofts tiny raindrops up above the freezing level. We see ice pellets form, and as we get more rain into more liquid into the storm, that hailstone lofting about throughout the storm, more water accumulates. The hailstone grows in size until it's no longer able to be held up by that updraft. Stronger the updraft, the bigger the hail. Largest hail in the U.S., soccer ball size. It's pretty intense. We're back after this.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
These days, it's anything but business as usual. That's why working together is more important than ever. AT&T is committed to keeping you connected so you can keep your patients cared for, your customers served, your students inspired, and your employees closer than ever. Our network is resilient. Our people are strong. Our job is to keep your business connected. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do.
Now, more than ever, her love keeps you centered. Show her how much she means to you with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Happy Mother's Day from Kay.
Max. No. Max! Max! Max!
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
I'm Susan, and I'm 52, and I live in San Francisco, California.
I have been a sales and sales management professional my whole career. Typical day during the work week is I'm working, but first always going for a run or going to the gym. Love reading. I love cooking healthy. It's super important to me. I was noticing that I was just having some memory loss, but it was really bothering me. So I tried Prevagen and it started to work for me. I wish I had taken Prevagen 5 or 10 years ago.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Buick and GMC are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
And Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual! We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Philadelphia, we know what makes the perfect smear of cream cheese. You need only the freshest milk and cream. That one. And the world's best, and possibly only, Chamelier. Philadelphia. Schmear perfection.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to lower cholesterol and slows sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. So start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Hey Boston. Hey Atlanta. Hola Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi New York. Hey LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey America.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on...
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Welcome back. Taking you to Veneta, Oklahoma, not too far from Tulsa, northeast part of the state, underneath a tornado watch currently, and we've got warnings up and down the state of Oklahoma from near the Oklahoma City metro area up towards the Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas state lines. So Oklahoma, you've been in the heart of the action. We know now Missouri, Arkansas, some of those other states will begin to get in on the storms as well, with the line of very, very strong thunderstorms bringing gusty winds and the chance of some tornadoes along it. Welcome back into Weather Underground. We are with you for an extra hour tonight as we track severe weather across the South, all the way up into the Midwest. Storm specialist Mark Elliott has been here manning the radar. Mark, another busy night and another night of watching, right now at least, southeast Oklahoma.
Absolutely. We're going to be watching these storms barrel through eastern Oklahoma, eventually dropping down into southeast Oklahoma and the lower Mississippi River Valley by morning. Could see this same line of storms come through. So areas that got hit earlier this morning and then again this evening could have storms again by tomorrow morning down near the Gulf Coast. It's a very active pattern, kind of what April into May is known for in this part of the world. So it doesn't make it any easier. What can make it easier is knowing where the storms are and where they're going. So let's get a look at the latest updates here from the National Weather Service offices. Big complex of storms right in here where just about everybody who's hearing thunder is underneath at least a severe thunderstorm warning. Many of you are also under tornado warnings. We have 2 different tornado warnings to follow, moving across the Tulsa metro area, more or less, across that I-44 corridor in northeastern Oklahoma. We'll start off on this northern storm. Look at this inflow notch right in here, a very interesting component of this storm. This is Delaware, Mays, and Rogers counties. What this tells us is that we have very strong winds surging forward. That rain-cooled air is just barreling full steam ahead. But we also know that this storm has a lot of rising air, and air is coming into the storm as inflow to kind of fill that gap. And so when you see that, you wind up with these little notches. And you notice we've got one wind going one way and one going the other. That's not a good sign. That's how you start up rotation in a signature like this. And we're seeing a little sign of that right now. Now, let's back that up, because on the south side of that warning for Delaware, Mays, and Rogers, we now have a new interesting little curl that has started off. Look at that signature. This is all on its own, ahead of the line just a bit. But this in Mays County, kind of an ominous signature when it comes to the potential for rotation. Nothing really jumping out, but we know just on the presentation of the regular mode of the radar that could have some rotation right in here where the kind of the gray and the greens meet up, enough that the National Weather Service is warning it at this point. So we can kind of time out both of those for you. Here's a quick look at the rotation that's moving through the Pryor Creek area, then Lusty and Murphy towards the top of the hour. And the north rotation is also making its way towards the east with a little bit of a southerly component, getting towards Tip and Hoot Owl within the next 10 minutes or so. After those two storms, we can also look at the Tulsa area, because on the south side of Tulsa, this storm at times has been showing some rotation. And so a tornado warning continues there. It looks like that rotation is easing up just a bit. Alex, I'm also watching an area that's kind of approaching the Doppler radar site. So might be a little bit tough to see, but there's also rotating storms there. Overall, either side of Tulsa pretty active right now.
Yeah, and then we're watching some of the neighboring states, including Arkansas. Mike Seidel is in Fayetteville. And Mike, this is an area that the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting as a spot to watch over the coming hours.
Yeah, those storms that Mark Elliott are showing that are warned for possible tornadoes based on radar are steaming towards us. That doesn't mean that we're going to be under a tornado warning, but these are pretty dangerous storms. We're watching off to the north and west. They're coming in from that direction. We had sunshine a couple of hours ago, then the high cirrus came in. Now we got more of a low stratus deck, and the clouds, you can see they're moving pretty fast, basically from west to east. So we're going to keep an eye on that in that direction. Look at the radar and how close this squall line is. Again, we've got the bow echoes, and we have a bow. You get strong straight line winds. Tulsa gusted Joplin, Missouri gusted to 62 miles an hour. We have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's all coming into northwest Arkansas, including Fayetteville, and timing it out about another hour and a half. We think it's going to hit here around 8 o'clock Central, about an hour later in Fort Smith, and then another hour or so later in Little Rock. But again, the main threat, straight line wind damage, power outages. That's a given, and that threat too for some tornadoes. We'll keep you updated. We're going to be right here. We've got our safe place to show you everything as the storms blow through here in the next couple of hours.
In the next minute, an animal who's been cruelly abused by a thoughtless owner might not survive. Every minute of every day in America, animals are feeling the pain of being abused or neglected. These animals have done nothing to deserve this treatment. And if you agree, then it's time to do something about it. It only takes a minute to help, but it's a minute that will matter more than you can imagine to an animal who's being hurt. So I hope you'll take this minute right now and visit this website or call the number on your screen. Join with your gift of just $19 a month, and you can rescue innocent animals from endless suffering. The next minute could mean the difference between life and death for an animal who's being hurt. It's just 63 cents a day, and I can tell you, you will make a difference. So I'm asking you, Please visit our easy-to-use website on any device or call this toll-free number now. And if you join in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this membership kit. It comes with a magazine subscription, an animal photo, and this limited edition Animal Champion t-shirt designed exclusively for our new monthly supporters. Please go online or call now and don't delay, because there's an animal being abused right now, and the next minute of their life could really depend on you.
The new house is amazing, so much character.
Original crown molding, walk-in closets.
We do have a rat problem. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
It does help us save.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Oh, this is gonna hit town!
Inside the storm, every second counts. Deadline to Disaster premieres Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Active weather continuing across portions of the Central Plains, Missouri and Oklahoma, both now with tornado warnings once again. I say again because Missouri just reissuing a tornado warning. This is the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. You can tell just how heavy that rain is. My goodness, it's really coming down. Plus some spray from the tires, a little bit of wind and some lightning at times goes a long way to make for some very difficult travel conditions. This is all in an area that actually has a tornado watch. The tornado watch continues until 11 o'clock, flanked on either side by severe thunderstorm watches. But let's get into the warnings, the imminent stuff, right? A watch means it's possible. A warning means it's happening. And we have several different areas of concern at this point when it comes to tornadoes. So let's start off here across Oklahoma. You can see that we've got one on the south side of Tulsa, a couple more on the northeast side of the radar site, and a newly issued warning here in Missouri. So this has been an area that at times has kind of cycled through and has given us a tornado possibility. Then it was more straight line winds. Fire department in this area just estimated a wind gust close to 70 miles per hour. So that's the kind of straight line wind potential that's pointed right at Springfield. So get ready, Springfield. This is kind of your early warning setup. But you notice there's this kind of bow here and a bow here. And so on the north side of both of those, there's a chance for some rotation. One of those is right there, the other right there, and that's why the National Weather Service is giving you a large tornado warning to try to kind of encapsulate both of those potential rotation spots, because this type of signature is actually pretty hard to exactly pinpoint where the tornado would spin up. It would be somewhere on that front edge of either one of those kind of wind surges, and those blue colors, those are those 70-mile-per-hour winds. So if you were to be able to just extrapolate that forward, coming right towards Springfield. Okay, so get ready, Springfield. It's headed your way. We'll go down the line here. This is now those storms on the northeast side of the Tulsa area. Both of these are showing some signs of rotation. Again, those kind of notches or those inflow areas. This is Mays County, as well as just north of Mays County, getting into other portions of Mays, but also Delaware. And again, you can't completely rule out a spin-up tornado on that little surge forward or on that little surge forward. So 2 different tornado warnings for those storms. Then we go to Tulsa itself, and really the south side of Tulsa now. Lots of wind surging forward there, but we know there's going to be inflow air coming back towards that, so you can get these spin-up tornadoes on the front edge there also. So again, tornado warning issued on that south side of Tulsa. One area that doesn't yet have a tornado warning are these supercells, all at the kind of on their lonesome outside of Norman, Oklahoma, Cleveland, Grady, and McLean, and then stretching back towards Chickasha, towards Grady County. These storms are all on their own. Right? These tail-end Charlies have the rest of the environment open for business. There is no more rain south of them to kind of give rain-cooled air to choke off their inflow. Sometimes that is an ominous sign for people that are nearby these storms. At times, we've seen a little bit of rotation trying to form on that extreme kind of western flank outside Chickasha. I don't think we're there yet, but that's certainly an area that we need to watch. Then we were following all these storms across southern portions of Louisiana, getting towards New Orleans. This that currently has a severe thunderstorm warning well outside Hammond was at times a tornado warning. I bring this up because while we have lots of active weather in the center of the country, the winner or loser, if you will, when it comes to power outages is actually Louisiana because of all the storms that we've seen. In fact, Oklahoma and the Kansas and Missouri area not yet making it on the list of the top 5 states with regards to customers without power. We'll see how those trends change over the next couple of hours because there are some big storms in those areas, and that's where the potential remains tonight, Alex, where we could see more in the way of active weather.
Yeah, you showed us those storms down around the Gulf Coast. Now we're looking at New Orleans. You're going to watch for another round of stronger storms as we head into tomorrow morning. It's the area, that complex that we're seeing develop across the south central U.S. right now. Temperature in New Orleans around 78 degrees. We look at the severe threat tomorrow along the Gulf Coast all the way up into Alabama and Georgia. So we'll be watching places like Atlanta by the time we get into evening on Wednesday. There's 3 o'clock with those storms rolling through sections of Alabama, eventually getting into Georgia. You can see those storms down along the Gulf Coast already offshore. So for New Orleans, it's a morning threat. Storms around, say, 7, 8 o'clock for the Atlanta area, losing a bit of their punch, but I think we'll still have a line of storms overnight and into your Thursday morning across parts of the Carolinas and East Georgia. Could bring us some gusty winds, and then during the day on Thursday, we'll be watching eastern North Carolina, southeast Virginia, and parts of Florida for the stronger storms to develop once again before this system eventually gets out. Thursday, a severe possibility again across Florida, Orlando, Tampa, down towards Fort Myers, and then parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and southeast Virginia, say around Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. Your future radar for the Charleston, Myrtle Beach area, we get you into late Wednesday, early Thursday. Some scattered rain showers out there. There's that main line of storms. That'll be approaching by the time we get you into the lunchtime hours before it moves on out. Could see some thunderstorms a little later in the day, still around places, say, like Orangeburg. We've got more to come on Weather Underground. We're going to get back out to Mark Elliott, our storm specialist, as he watches the storms. You're looking at the active, severe, and tornado warnings now as those storms begin to move into parts of Arkansas shortly.
Outsmarting a nasty Nessie with Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Step 1, locate the legend. Step 2, flex 'em. And unwet 'em. Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Make your legs legendary. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
What do we want for dinner?
Burgers! I want a sugar cookie. I want a bucket of chicken. I want...
It's the easiest because it's the cheesiest. Kraft for the win-win.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProPlan Live Clear, a breakthrough. 10 years in the making that reduces allergens in cat hair and dander. Outstanding nutrition with the power to change lives. This is Purina ProPlan Live Clear.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once. Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish. Tuned in.
Hey. Hi. How are you? Good evening. Whew. So, what's the plan?
You jump in there, the drought ends, and then the crops grow.
Everyone's happy. Right. Okay. What if instead we built some sort of system that would get the water from the river down to the fields? Like with tubes or something?
A gravity-driven water distribution network.
Yes! Huh?
You got it here?
No.
Oh. Well, everybody walked all the way up here, so...
Go on, get on with it!
In you go.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I liked him. You like everyone.
Well, I'm a people person.
Eventually, somebody realizes there's a better way to do things. Like a mobile service that's the most reliable, with the fastest overall speeds, and now with 5G. It's a better way to mobile. It's Spectrum Mobile.
Is that coming this way?
Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house.
The roof just get ripped off. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the storm.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster, Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 57 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. South winds shifting to north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower. High 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers, low 50. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Underground. As we have been following the views from Storm Tracker Charles Peak, very difficult broadcasting conditions, very heavy rain in the area, and so that's why that shot was frozen at that time. He's basically right in here, traveling his way to get out ahead of those tornado-warned storms. A little bit difficult to see. Let's use this. He's right about in here, just outside that Doppler radar site, and trying to get out ahead of those tornado-warned storms in eastern Oklahoma. That said, we've got storms in Missouri that are tornado warned, as well as those in eastern Oklahoma. We'll get back to those in just a second. Tornado warning for Dade, Jasper, and Lawrence. Very strong straight line winds pointed right at Springfield, Missouri. This rain-cooled air is absolutely surging forward here. When you have such a strong surge of those rain-cooled winds, you often get a kind of return flow of those winds coming back into the storm. And where those intersect, right in here or right in here, as the case may be, on either side of those two surges that we're following, you can wind up with spin-up tornadoes. Even if we don't get a tornado, the winds here are very, very strong. These blue colors are indicating easily 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Around the Joplin area, as these storms came through, there were estimates from local firehouses that had estimate winds near 70. So that's the kind of wind potential that is headed towards Springfield. As for the tornado potential in eastern Oklahoma, we're now east of the Doppler radar site. Tulsa is right here. Here's New Tulsa. Here's the Doppler radar. Two different warned storms, the stronger of which is probably the northern one, but Mays with a tornado warning continuing until 7, and then just north of there, portions of Mays and portions of Delaware counties also underneath tornado warnings. Here's one of those kind of inflow notches where the rain-free air is bending back in towards the storm as the rain-cooled air is surging forward. So again, where those kind of meet up and hang out, you can wind up with spin-up tornadoes. And we're seeing a little bit of a signature of that in here. It doesn't look quite as put together and as dramatic as it did even a little bit ago. So hopefully that trend continues. But my goodness, look at the scope of these severe thunderstorm warnings surrounding this area, because we know that there are very, very strong winds. Even if they're not rotating, they're going to be strong enough to do some damage. Here's the south side of the Tulsa area. No longer a tornado potential at the moment, but still a severe thunderstorm warning for those very gusty winds. Just about everybody along 44 is in the storm there south of Tulsa. And again, here's that front edge of the very gusty winds moving through the south side of the area. And we're also watching storms that are blasting into Norman and Chickasha. We're potential for some very large hail with these supercells hanging out kind of all on their own. And within this area, at times, we've seen these two storms trying to rotate. Nothing imminent on that front, Dr. Nab, either, but still a potential through the rest of the evening for tornadoes. We also know that these storms are going to be slowing down and moving into areas that already had rain, so there's not a lot of bandwidth on the grounds for more water.
Yeah, and the reason that's even worse news is that the rainfall rates have been very high, easily exceeding an inch an hour, in some cases more than 2 or 3 inches per hour, and that's going to happen more and more overnight. And we talk about flash flooding because it can be life-threatening, and most people die in their cars. And I'm going to show you where some of the warnings and advisories are to get you off the roads, as if Mark didn't give you enough reasons already. We have the possibility of flooding all night tonight into tomorrow morning. Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and East Texas, multiple rounds of rain, like Mark was saying. So this is round number 1 that's been dumping heavy rain already today, and this is round number 2 that's going to head back into the same areas. So the multiple rounds of rainfall are going to be the problem. Now down here in Louisiana, we've got areas that are getting an inch or 2 an hour, and now we've got a flash flood warning just south of Baton Rouge. So if you're going I-10 in between Baton Rouge and La Place in New Orleans, bad idea. It's really coming down. And you're warning in that area, Ascension, East Baton Rouge, and Iberville parishes until 9:30 local time, and widespread areas excuse me, exceeding 2 inches per hour. And we're not done yet. We got another 1, 2, maybe 3 inches to go in this batch of rain. And then there's tomorrow morning. So this is really setting the table for problems in Louisiana, not just tonight, but tomorrow morning. Now, we've got all the severe weather that Mark's been talking about, but we've even got water problems starting to show up. Tulsa area is now under a flood advisory, and sometimes this could be a precursor to a flash flood warning, but either way, it's dangerous on the roads, the urban areas, and you know we got some waterways going through Tulsa. It's a very flood-prone area, and watch how this is going to really accelerate and amplify the flood threat overnight, Alex.
We got a lot more to come on the next hour of Weather Underground. We're with you for an extra hour tonight. And our coverage on the Weather Channel continues even after that. Much more on where the severe threat increases overnight and tomorrow morning. We're going to time it out for you city by city.
Attention, anyone on Medicare. Did you know you may now be eligible for additional Medicare approved benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage? Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify. The Medicare Benefits and Questions line is now open to help anyone on Medicare make sure you are getting the benefits you deserve. Just call 800-310-1847 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or no copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify for additional benefits. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Did you know you may be eligible for additional benefits with a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage? The Medicare Benefits and Questions line is now open to help anyone on Medicare make sure you are getting the benefits you deserve. Just call 800-310-1847 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or no copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify for additional benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drugs. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Just call 800-310-1847. 800-310-1847.
ProPlan Live Clear, a breakthrough, 10 years in the making, that reduces allergens in cat hair and dander. Outstanding nutrition with the power to change lives. This is Purina ProPlan Live Clear.
It's Velveeta shells and cheese versus the other guys. Clearly, Velveeta melts creamier.
Now, more than ever, her love keeps you centered. Show her how much she means to you with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Happy Mother's Day from Kay.
This hour on Weather Underground, special extended coverage tonight as a dangerous severe threat has developed. We're going to break down the timing for storms with damaging winds, even tornadoes stretching from the upper Midwest well into the south. And this is a threat that continues overnight and tomorrow. We'll tell you who's in store for a sleepless night as potentially destructive storms blast southward. All next on Weather Underground. Thanks for staying with us on this Tuesday. I'm Alex Wilson here with storm specialist Mark Elliott. Mark, things have really intensified across parts of especially the southern plains right now.
Yeah, really anywhere from, say, St. Louis all the way back to Oklahoma City. Cluster of storms there where just about everybody who can hear thunder is getting a severe thunderstorm warning at least.
Yeah, we take you to Tulsa, Oklahoma, or outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, I should say. Storm tracker Charles Peak is out there on the road, seeing that lightning that Mark just talked about. Of course, the rain coming down. Dr. Rick Knabb is here to break down the flash flooding threat as well. So that's a side of the story that we don't want to forget about. Could be especially dangerous moving forward. But Mark, you mentioned we've got that severe weather from the Midwest down to the southern plains. I know there's a severe storm approaching the St. Louis metro area as well. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that one in just a second. It has been a fascinating meteorological afternoon where it was reasonably quiet in the center of the country until 4:30, and then all of a sudden the whole line of storms went up together. It was when the forcing from out ahead of this cold front met up with this very unstable air mass that was building through the day. So now we're clustering all these storms together, and they are bringing all modes of severe weather along with them. We've seen 1 to 2 inch hail. We've already seen winds to 70. I think the wind threat will continue well into the night. We're also looking at least the potential of a couple tornadoes across this area. Look at the blow up of thunderstorms that we've had over the past few hours. This goes back to near 4 o'clock when the 3 to 4 when the storms were just starting, and then brings us all the way to now. Almost nothing, and then wow, do we see development building south. And that's what we were warning you about all day long, that this was going to be a fast development. Once we got to that point that the storms could go, they were going to all go together. So you had to have a way to get your warnings and know where your safe spot was. Know what to do if tornadoes come your way, because that shear profile, what I'm showing you here, the different wind directions with height, still pretty favorable across eastern Oklahoma and kind of northeast Texas, maybe a little bit of Arkansas in there. From now through the next hour or so, winds at the surface are still out of the due south direction. You look up aloft in the atmosphere to about 5,000 feet up, and those winds are coming out of the southwest and going northeast. That spin could still give us some rotation, some tornadoes, especially on that leading edge of what is otherwise a very pronounced straight line wind threat.
So that's why we have a tornado watch that's across that area of eastern Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas until 11. On either side from there, severe thunderstorm watches also go until 11. And it would not surprise me at all. In fact, I'm sure the Storm Prediction Center as well as the local National Weather Service offices are starting to start those conversations. What do we do about this whole area out ahead of these storms? Because right now there's plenty of real estate still to come. So just because you're not in a watch yet does not mean you will not be in one as the evening goes through. Look at this lineup of storms from the St. Louis area all the way back towards Oklahoma City, the south side of Oklahoma City now. One tornado warning smack dab in the middle, approaching Springfield, Missouri. We know we're going to have a lot of straight line winds coming towards Springfield. Look at that Boeing signature right in here, like a bow and arrow, and that, you know, the apex of that bow where the arrow would fly might be pointed just south of Springfield. But sometimes when you have rotation within there, it's either on that front edge or it's in the comma head. You know, that if that is the comma at the end, or not the end, that would be a period, a comma at the middle of a sentence, that kind of the top comma head is where you sometimes get some extra rotation. Dade and Lawrence now underneath that tornado warning. A bit of rotation there right in here. Just east of Greenfield. Got to watch that area very carefully. There could be a spin-up tornado there. That is just north of some of the strongest winds, straight line winds pointed right at Springfield. So Springfield, get ready. We're talking easily 70-mile-per-hour winds coming your way. Now, Alex mentioned the St. Louis area. Let's kind of walk our way up the line and go all the way into St. Louis. This is the St. Louis radar site. It's Calhoun, Jersey, and St. Charles counties underneath a severe thunderstorm warning. We can loop this to let you kind of see that forward progress. Look at how we have these storms intersecting, those storms that were out ahead of the line crashing in. Sometimes that's just enough to kick up some extra wind. So I think that helped to give us that wind potential. Now, this is the latest mode, the latest scan of the radar. You see this faint green line right in here? That is the gust front. That is the very strong wind pushing out of these storms that is pushing towards St. Charles first and eventually will likely get all the way to St. Louis. So these are some very gusty conditions. We also have one of those surges forward well west of St. Louis, but approaching Washington. A surge forward right in here, a little bit of that gust front action right there, and potentially a little bit of rotation on that northern edge. So let's take a look at the motion of those raindrops. Can't rule it out. Can't guarantee that we'll have a tornado there either. But when you see big surges forward like that, Alex, considering what we've seen already today, we have to at least take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely concerning. And we know we're going to be watching other communities moving forward, including the northwest part of the state of Arkansas. And Fayetteville is where Mike Seidel is. Mike, this is an area the Storm Prediction Center has been highlighting as a spot to watch, a spot to be prepared in the coming hours.
In the next hour, in fact, this hour, we're going to get hit here by that line of severe thunderstorms. I'm keeping an eye on the northwest sky because they're coming in from the northwest, moving southeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. So right back here, that's northwest. This is north over here. And it's kind of eerie right now. The wind has gone almost calm. It was gusting earlier with the sun mixing the atmosphere 26, 27 miles an hour. The birds are chirping. It's very, very eerie out here, and it really has that familiar but troubling feel right before you get a nasty thunderstorm, and we've got them coming in. We can't avoid the severe thunderstorms, and we'll likely have a warning here very quickly. In fact, they just put out a new warning. This includes areas just north and west of us, and that includes parts of Benton County, northwest Washington County, Delaware County, southeastern Mays County, so many counties, Adair County, east central Wagner County, and northern Cherokee County. And these storms are all warned, just like this one, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter-sized hail, and that could mean power outages and certainly at least some trees down on power lines and some minor wind damage. So they're all going to come right in this direction in the next half an hour to 1 hour across the Fayetteville area, and then about an hour later in Fort Smith, and then later on this evening in Little Rock, and eventually this line's going to end up all the way to the Gulf Coast by tomorrow morning. So a very dangerous line of storms. We call it a squall line, but there are also some embedded bow echoes where the line bows out. I'm looking at that right now. That's associated with that cell that was tornado warned over the past hour, and so there could be some spin-ups. But really, the threat right now is the 1-inch hail or larger, Alex, and these winds. And as the sun goes down, we're going to see the lightning flashing behind us. That's another thing, Alex. There's a lot of lightning out there, and we've got our safe place for severe weather, and even if we get a tornado warning, we can go inside this brick building.
Glad to hear it. You know, when you get those kinds of winds, you might want to sleep in your safe spot, you know, that lowest level, most interior room, because if you've got a lot of trees around your home, it doesn't take much in the way of winds when you've got a saturated ground to take down trees. And we know these storms have a lot of wind to work with. So we could be seeing winds well in excess of 60 miles an hour, and that's going to take down trees no problem. Got the storms near the Gulf Coast right now, but take a look as we move into the overnight and early tomorrow. Our storms continue to hold their strength as they race to the south and east, and we think it's going to kind of be a 1-2 punch around New Orleans with these strong storms working through Baton Rouge and New Orleans as we get you into the mid-morning hours of your Wednesday. So got to watch all the way down for the Gulf towards the Gulf Coast for the threat of gusty, damaging winds. In Dallas, it's going to be around midnight for you in Fort Worth, so it's a late evening, early overnight threat. I would say between 11 and 1 a.m. you can expect the strongest of storms to be passing through. Hail, damaging winds, both on the table. Can't rule out an isolated tornado warning, but I think hail and gusty winds will be the main threats with the storms there. Texarkana to Shreveport. This is another spot where it's probably after you've gone to bed that the storms move in. I think probably between 11 and 1 a.m. for Texarkana, somewhere between 1 and 3 a.m. for the Shreveport area. So have a way to get those warnings. Again, maybe just sleep in a different bedroom. Say your bedroom is lined with trees outside. These trees can come down, and so many times we see people fall victim even in their own home when they're sleeping. So make sure you're set up for a good and safe night's sleep if you live in any of these areas. Chicago, you've seen storms out there this evening as well. Strong thunderstorms today across parts of the Midwest. We've been looking at the St. Louis area right now. Temperatures, they are in the mid-60s right now around Chicago. We look at where the storms are at this point. They've moved away from Chicago. Could still see some rain across the metro area. And you notice well to the northwest of town, Rockford still seeing some thunderstorms. But more of these strong storms get back down into parts of central Illinois and then especially through Missouri with gusty showers likely across the northern end. And it's going to be a windy day again tomorrow across a good chunk of this region, particularly across the northern plains. Moving forward, again, don't want to rule out another chance of a shower thunderstorm around the Chicago area, but most of the action will be across central southern Illinois, getting into Indiana by the time we get into the early morning hours. But I think at that point, we've got a complex of thunderstorms. Could be some gusty winds at times, but you can see overall looking to lose its punch as we move overnight. Wednesday, your severe risk is lower. The wind, of course, will be the issue. Tomorrow, we're going to be watching parts of Alabama and Georgia for the greatest severe risk, but still going to be a rainy day up into parts of the Midwest with some of those gusty winds, particularly back into the plains. For Cleveland, rain and wind on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday still offering up the chance of showers. We finally see the sunshine, and temps in the mid-60s return for the weekend. So that'll be a nice day to get back outside, get some fresh air in your backyard or on your back porch. In Pittsburgh, we've got rain showers likely Thursday and Friday. Temperatures, though, won't be too cold. 73 on Wednesday, dropping to 57 on Friday. That's not bad. Rebound into the mid-60s on Saturday with some sunshine. So another spot by the time we get to the weekend, you can take it outside and, kind of take a deep breath after all this rain. New York City, another spot with rain showers, but temps in the low to mid-60s. So nothing like the dreary and chilly start to the week we had. But Dr. Knapp, with these rain showers moving eastward, the flood threat will also move eastward throughout the week.
Yeah, overnight tonight, it's moving south, and then the whole thing moves east, and eventually we're going to have a big flood problem, I think, in the big cities of the Northeast on Thursday and Friday. Right now, tonight into tomorrow morning, it's East Texas, it's eastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas and Louisiana, and even up in Illinois and Indiana along the Mississippi River. We've got problems tonight into tomorrow morning because the rain that's happening in Louisiana now and that happened in Southeast Texas earlier, this line is going to move down and strike this area again. So the multiple rounds of really heavy rain keep saturating the soil even more, and we get even more flood prone with every downpour. Now, we still got a flash flood warning here just south of Baton Rouge. Rouge, and this is along I-10 between New Orleans and Baton Rouge until 9:30 local time. This is Ascension, East Baton Rouge, Iberville parishes, and we've had 2 to 3 inches of rain in some of these spots. 2 to 3 inches more still could fall. Even in the last hour, we're still getting those 2 inch per hour rain rates. Earlier, they were spiking up at 2.5, and so this is going to escalate, and you got to stay off the roads. And remind yourself, too, that tomorrow morning we're going to get more rain down here in Louisiana. So tomorrow morning you could wake up to even more flash flooding. Now, let's go up to line number 2, the big area of severe weather that Mark Elliott has been showing you. In the midst of all of these severe thunderstorm warnings and a couple tornado warnings, we've now got a flash flood warning, as we feared might happen in the Tulsa area, especially southeast of town and in the Broken Arrow community, right about in here. There's been a report from ham radio operators of several inches of water on the road at Elm at 111th. That's right about in here. And of course, this is where the Arkansas River comes through, an extremely flood-prone area. And you've got the lightning, you've got the hail. Just do not get out on the roads. Cars and water just don't get along. And this is the main way people die in floods. So that's why this flash flood warning means business. And we're getting 1.5 to 2 inch per hour rain rates out of this storm. So when it's all said and done, could be several inches. Now, this is what's producing that flash flooding in Tulsa, and watch what this is going to do relative to the area that's under the flash flood warning and where we had southeast Texas getting the heavy rain. You could get the downpours, cause some flooding in Arkansas, but then watch tomorrow morning. This could be trouble in the Houston area and in Louisiana as these very heavy rains slow down and we get more and more rain in those same areas. And the Appalachians are going to be the problem tomorrow and tomorrow night before Thursday, and Thursday night's problem in the Northeast. Mark?
Now, it's a lot of water for sure. You mentioned that it was a lot of water kind of around those severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. I want to give everyone an update on those tornado warnings that we are following, including one on the Missouri side and one on the Oklahoma side about to get towards Arkansas. Here outside of Springfield, there's still at least a potential for a spin-up tornado. I think the risk is really changing to more of a straight-line wind threat, which is now barreling right into Springfield itself. 50, 60, even 70 mile per hour winds are possible here, looking less likely that we have a tornado potential. But one of the new warnings is here in extreme eastern Oklahoma. This is Delaware County. We know that we've got an inflow notch right about like this, okay? The winds are coming towards the storm, even as the rain-cooled air is surging forward. Where those meet up, right in here, pretty clear signature now of some rotation. Look at the green and the reds kind of shifting around, and then right here they meet up together. So that is one of the tighter couplets that we've seen over the past, say, half hour to hour and a half. Lots of these warnings, but this one is a pretty clear connection with the reds and greens together. What I can tell you is that there's no immediate sign of debris being lofted into the air, but it's a tight circulation couplet there, one that we definitely have to watch. Tornado warning until 7:45.
If your gums bleed when you brush, you may have gingivitis, and the clock could be ticking towards bad breath, receding gums, and possibly tooth loss. Help turn back the clock on gingivitis with Parodontax. Leave bleeding gums behind. Parodontax.
Melatonin is the body's own sleep ingredient. Only REM Fresh uses ion-powered melatonin to deliver up to 7 hours of sleep support. #1 sleep doctor recommended REM Fresh, your nightly sleep companion. Now available in the sleep section at Target.
Fruit Loops, a delicious part of this complete breakfast. Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana, bend at the waist. I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa! 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring. Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables, we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Hey, can I
hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, safe drivers save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe drivers save 40%.
Safe drivers save 40%.
Safe drivers save 40%.
That's safe drivers save 40%.
It is. That's safe drivers save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
These days, it's anything but business as usual. That's why working together is more important than ever. AT&T is committed to keeping you connected so you can keep your patients cared for, your customers served, your students inspired, and your employees closer than ever. Our network is resilient. Our people are strong. Our job is to keep your business connected. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do.
With Armor All, a little bit of this protects you from a lot of that. Armor All, minimum effort, maximum protection.
When allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief for 24-hour relief from your indoor and outdoor allergies. Say yes to life's possibilities. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
Ocean City, Maryland isn't the same without you. But rest assured, when it's finally time to come out again, we'll be here waiting. The lifeguards and the tram drivers, the folks making French fries and funnel cakes, the waiters and waitresses, the guys running skee ball and mini golf, the hotel clerks and the t-shirt vendors. We're all excited to see you. But until then, stay healthy.
Oh, this is gonna hit town.
Inside the storm, every second counts. Deadline to Disaster premieres Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 56 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. South winds shifting to north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy skies, slight chance of a rain shower, high 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers, low 50. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Underground. We're following the live views from Charles Peak, well outside Tulsa now towards Kansas, Oklahoma. Pretty constant lightning flashes there. Lots of heavy rain, obviously difficult travel. We've seen several, not only severe thunderstorm warnings in this area, but also tornado warnings for spin-up tornadoes on that front edge of otherwise very strong straight line winds. Wind damage is going to be a story right on through the nighttime hours. It's why Weather Underground is staying with you an extra hour, and why we will have continued coverage after Weather Underground here on the Weather Channel as well. Remember, our tornado watch continues until 11 o'clock, flanked by severe thunderstorm watches that also continue to 11, and waiting on the Storm Prediction Center to issue more in the way of watches out ahead of this line of storms. They've been, in contact with local National Weather Service offices and the Storm Prediction Center saying about a 95% chance of another watch being issued out ahead of this line. Look at the line, though. I mean, it goes all the way from central Illinois down to southern Oklahoma, and almost everybody along that line has some sort of warning right now. The worst of which is this kind of cluster in northern and eastern portions of Oklahoma, including where we have a tornado warning right now, as one of those little kinks in the line, one of those surges forward, and those smaller scale bow echoes has been charging forward. So right through Oaks, very gusty winds, and then on that northern edge in Delaware County, where the winds are coming back towards the storm, you can wind up with a spin-up tornado Right about in here is kind of the closest approach of that inflow air to what is otherwise air that's moving away from the radar site. So the red colors here moving away, that green color moving towards. So you could have a little spin-up tornado on that kind of leading edge of the storm. Let's just move this radar south just a little bit, because sometimes on that, the surge forward right at the apex of the bow, you can wind up with new kinks forming, kind of like there, where that kind of takes over. We'll see that walk its way north, kind of up the line, maybe the need for a new tornado warning in that area. Then we look at Springfield, Missouri. You've had quite the wind event come through Springfield over the past, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Very gusty conditions, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Left Joplin have now made it all the way to Springfield along I-44. What you're looking at here is that leading edge of the very gusty winds, and there are severe thunderstorm warnings being issued even further up the line. Speaking of up the line, here's St. Louis. We've been waiting on St. Louis itself to get in on the mix. It's not there yet, but it's almost to St. Charles. Severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun, for Jersey, for St. Charles counties. Very gusty winds. This faint green line right in here, that is the outflow boundary associated with those storms. The rain-cooled air surging forward. So the gusty wind will actually get there before the heaviest of the rain. Sometimes, if that gets far enough out ahead, it's a sign that these storms are starting to collapse and the wind energy won't be quite as bad. Still close enough that I think we're still generating some new wind from that heavy rain, so we can't completely put down our guard in St. Louis itself. And the tail end Charlie storm, this is one that's always very interesting because it doesn't have any other rain-cooled air in the way. This is Oklahoma City right in here. Here's the Red River, and there's a chance that this storm's going to try to take off now. We've got a pretty good hail core on that, some sign of rotation on the west side. Alex, that's one we got to watch pretty carefully.
Absolutely. I know you have a lot on your plate, doing a great job. Thank you so much, Mark. I want to take you down to the south. We've seen some thunderstorms down into parts of the Gulf Coast region. Overall, though, it was a nice day in New Orleans, high in the lower 80s, still in the upper 70s now. But as we start tomorrow morning, you can anticipate today's storms, those that Mark was just showing us, to be racing all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So we've got more thunderstorms on our plate. New Orleans, 2 a.m. You can see fairly quiet, some light rain over towards the Biloxi area, but there are the thunderstorms that will continue to race through places like Baton Rouge and New Orleans by the time we get to 6, 7, 8 a.m. So this is a time when maybe you're going to be waking up, getting ready for work, or at least to work remotely. Be prepared that some strong thunderstorms could be moving through at that time, and I think power outages could be a real concern with these because wind is what the storms will be offering up still at that point. Now, those storms move out over the Gulf, but you notice the storms continue to move eastward through parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee during the afternoon and early evening tomorrow. Eventually, overnight, working into North and South Carolina, and on Thursday, our severe threat focused over parts of Florida and eastern sections of, say, South and North Carolina as the storms continue to race eastward. Eventually, then, this system moves out. We're done with it. We can say goodbye after several active days. But there's severe risk for you on Thursday. Again, places like Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, right up towards the state line with Virginia. And then we watch parts of Florida, including Orlando and Tampa. So some big metro areas could at least get in on a strong thunderstorm during the day on Thursday. Wednesday, 6 o'clock, we look at Columbia down towards the low country. So Midlands to low country. Rain showers out there during the overnight, but you can see 3 a.m. Thursday. That's when that line of storms is moving out of the upstate, headed towards a place like Columbia. By the time we get you to the mid and late morning, now we're looking at, say, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and then eventually Wilmington. Could see another line develop during the afternoon, so may watch for a few localized thunderstorms during the mid to late afternoon in a place like Charleston or Orangeburg, but I think a lot of the storminess will be coming earlier in the day. Well, still to come on the show, we are watching the radar closely to keep you on top of all the warnings, and there are a lot of them. Parts of Oklahoma up into Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois. I want to take you to near Springfield, south of town. We've got a tornado warning in Christian County, Cassidy, Ozark, and Riverside, some of the communities in the path of this one. Outside of that, expect a surge of strong winds. There's that kink right along the line.
Fruit Loops, a delicious part of this complete breakfast.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Oh, why you look so sad? Tears are in your eyes. Come on and talk to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through.
Animals are abused every day, and they can't ask for help. They endure indescribable acts of violence, but they're without a voice. Without a voice to say they're frightened and in pain. They're alone, they're scared, and they need your help.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
Visit us at joinaspca.org or call this number now to join. Sign up for just 63 cents a day, and you'll help rescue animals who are suffering.
Come on and talk to me now.
Please make this the moment that you say, I won't stand by while they suffer. When you sign up with your monthly gift, you give them the shelter and the love they deserve. Do it in the next 10 minutes, and we'll send you the photo of an animal from our shelter and a free ASPCA t-shirt. If you've wondered if your support will make a difference, I can tell you, it will. And if you've ever thought about helping, this is the time.
I'll stand by you.
It's only 63 cents a day. Please go online or call before it's too late.
Max! No! Max! Max! Max!
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
Is that coming this way? Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof just get ripped off. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store. Guys, we've got cars floating here.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster, Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back into Weather Underground. As anticipated, a very active night of severe weather, including Shawnee, Oklahoma. You can see the wind blowing the rain and hail here in the parking lot. Listen in. Yeah, that is that sound of some very strong wind and even a little bit of that hail. We've seen hail in the 1 to 2 inch diameter range across parts of Oklahoma today. Our storm trackers are out there across the region. We take you now to Grafton, Kansas. This area under a tornado warning. Take a look at the underside of that leading edge of the storm. Excuse me, this is Boynton, Oklahoma. So our storm trackers on the move. That is Brett Adair on the road giving us a look at the underside of this storm. And we welcome you back into Weather Underground with you for an extra hour tonight as we track severe storms across the south up to the Midwest. And don't worry, our coverage does not stop here. We're with you throughout the evening and into the overnight hours. Mark Elliott, our storm specialist, you have been watching the radar, and there are warnings just about as far as the eye can see all along this line.
Absolutely. We've had warnings as far north to, this evening as northern Illinois, and now as far south as near the Red River in Oklahoma and just about everywhere in between. That's the zone that was covered up by these watches, severe thunderstorm watches on either side, and then in the center, a tornado watch. They all go until 11, but that's not the end of the threat. This will be an overnight threat. Storm Prediction Center saying a 95% chance of a watch being issued out ahead of the ones that are currently on this screen. So that's going to happen probably before that 11 o'clock local time comes to fruition. So stay tuned. If you're kind of south or east of any of these areas, there will be more storms tonight. Here's a look at the line of storms right now from central Illinois, where we have the mixture of flooding and severe thunderstorm conditions, all the way back down to near the Red River now on the Texas-Oklahoma border. Pretty widespread severe weather coverage at this point. 2 different tornado warnings that we're still following. One that's about to enter extreme northwest Arkansas, not too far from Fayetteville, and another one that's on that bow outside of Springfield. Let's start here. This is a storm that we've been following through Delaware County, now all the way up against the Arkansas border. Very strong winds surging forward south of this warned area. And you know, we're seeing at least some sign of rotation right in here, due north, a little bit west of Siloam Springs. That's, of course, on the Arkansas side. There is no warning yet in the Arkansas side, but I think that will probably be needed. That said, there is a severe thunderstorm warning on the Arkansas side. Let's back that out just a little bit, because all of this area is seeing very strong straight line winds surging forward, and the apex of that bow is pointed almost directly at Fayetteville. So get ready in the Fayetteville area. We could see up to 60 mile per hour winds. Speaking of those bows plowing on through, we had one of those come through Springfield. It's now east of town, and there is still some rotation on that kind of apex of the bow, where the worst of the winds came through from north of Joplin through Springfield. Now we have this pretty clear kind of kink in our line where there very well could be at least some rotation. I want to get a little bit closer into this one. New scan just coming in right near Sparta, where we have that kink in the line right in here. You see that? That signature can sometimes lead to a spin-up tornado. It would be very close to the Sparta area. Quick look to see if we have any debris being lofted into the air. Doesn't look like it. That's on the leading edge out ahead of the rain, where there's nothing for the radar to bounce off of. So hopefully that trend stays that way, Alex, and we don't have any major debris thrown into the air from these storms.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. You mentioned that tornado-warned storm approaching the Arkansas state line. Not far from there is Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Mike Seidel has been there throughout the day. We started off with bright skies, saw the clouds build in, saw the winds pick up a bit. I see the raincoats on now as some of that rain begins to edge closer, but the real meat of these storms still yet to come.
About a half an hour from now here in northwest Arkansas, where we are here in Fayetteville, we've got showers and thunderstorms on the radar. Look at what we're really concerned with, that area of red, that solid line. That's the squall line, where we could get gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour, also at least quarter-sized tail, and that's going to bear down here by 8 o'clock here in Fayetteville. Otherwise, right now we're getting a few showers. There's some pop-up showers, a little bit of lightning in the area, but it's all coming from this direction, west and northwest. Skies darkening, lightning bolt right over here. I'm going to walk in a little bit closer. That was a really bright bolt coming down. We'll see 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. A little over 2 miles away, so we've got some closer and lightning bolts. We've got safety right here with the restaurant. We also have, we can go indoors if we have a tornado warning. But again, the main concern here is straight line winds, potentially knocking down trees over power lines. Although so far, so good in Oklahoma, about 3,500 power outages statewide. I thought it would be worse. And in Missouri, so far, we've had about 5,500 outages. Hopefully those trends will continue as these storms roll in. Alex?
Yeah, ideal. Some good news hopefully headed our way. If we can keep those power outages down, I know the residents there would be thankful. But we know the threat continues overnight and into tomorrow morning. Coming up, we're going to time this out for you. Where are the storms headed? And of course, our storm trackers are out there on the roads bringing you the sights and sounds. Mark Elliott, our storm specialist, man in the radar.
Buick and GMC are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer, because Energizer Ultimate Lithium is the longest-lasting AA battery in the world. Energizer, backed by science, matched by no one.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up banana, bend at the waist. I'm trying.
Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Here's a razor that works differently. The Gillette Skin Guard. It has a guard between the blades that helps protect skin. The Gillette Skin Guard.
ProPlan Live Clear, a breakthrough. 10 years in the making that reduces allergens in cat hair and dander. Outstanding nutrition with the power to change lives. This is Purina ProPlan Live Clear.
At Kashi, we've got a little something for everyone. Peanut butter. Protein. Fair trade chocolate. Organic whole grains. And blueberry clusters. Kashi, nutritious ingredients and the flavors everyone loves.
Looks good.
Sure, let me help you with that.
Thanks for sharing your DIY haircuts. Thanks for sharing your savage moves, and especially your awkward ones. Thanks for sharing your cute kids and your adorable pets. Now it's our turn to share with the Geico Give Back, a 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies for both current and new customers. And because we're committed for the long haul, the credit lasts your full policy term. So thanks again. One good share deserves another.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, I never felt this way before. Give us some more.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Underground, where we are following the live views out of the Siloam Springs area in Arkansas, just over the Oklahoma border. There is a severe thunderstorm warning across this area. It is pouring down rain, and very gusty winds are plowing through this area as well. Now, just outside of the Siloam Springs area is a tornado warning still on the Oklahoma side that continues until 7:45. So this area has a chance of still having some rotation. This whole zone is bowing forward, though, and our live pictures are basically right in here in some of the heaviest rain and worst of the wind of that storm that is moving on through. Let's go back kind of a wide picture, though, because we have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued. Again, we are looking at storms right in here in a tornado watch that continues until 11. We know that there's a tornado watch that severe thunderstorm watch that continues until 11 from St. Louis and down towards our tornado watch area. And we also have a severe thunderstorm watch south of Oklahoma City. But the newest of them is this area right in here, severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. Indicating where we think that Boeing segment of storms is going to travel to. We're already seeing those storms really pooling their cold air, surging forward. That means get ready Little Rock, get ready Memphis, what you're seeing happening in, say, Springfield, Missouri with severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, what you saw happen in Tulsa and now towards Fayetteville. That kind of weather is coming towards you overnight. A rude awakening on the way for sure. Let's get a little bit closer in here. We'll take a look at these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. We'll start off near the Springfield area. Let's jump in towards, let's move that forward towards the Springfield area. A brand new kind of clustering of tornado warnings. We have Christian County with a tornado warning until 7:45. Then north of there, due east of Springfield, it's Webster County with a tornado warning until 8 o'clock. These are both on that leading edge that has already plowed through Springfield. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds for everybody along that curling bow segment. But sometimes on that leading edge of the curl, you can wind up with some rotation. So here's a look at that, and there's a kink in the line right here, so there's a chance for a spin-up tornado right there for our southern warning. Our northern warning, it's kind of hidden behind the 44 placards. Let me change the view just a little bit. We have a couple of different spots that could have rotation. We've got a kink in the line right here, just north of State Route 60, and kind of a wind shift on that northern edge of that surge forward near Marshfield, or points just south and west, right along 44. Either one of those could turn into a tornado warning. Could turn into a spin-up tornado. There's already a tornado warning across this area. Then you look back towards the south just a little bit more, towards the Fayetteville, Arkansas area. Here's Fayetteville, just off to the east, under a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. This is the area that we had the live views for you from the Siloam Springs area. Very, very heavy rain moving on through. And again, I want to widen this out for you because it really shows you the scope of the surge of rain that we're looking at. Look at that. Look at that curl tapping into all of that rain that has moved through already. Rain-cooled air is surging forward, and that is pointed, the apex of that bow is pointed right at Fayetteville. I know we've had live reports from the Fayetteville area with Mike Seidel. It is going to get pretty gnarly in that area. You know, a brief hit, but if it's, right over your home, it doesn't matter how brief it is. You need to know that this weather is coming your way. Then we can also go a little bit further down the line. Those are the Springfield storms again. How about what's happening south of Oklahoma City? These storms haven't really pooled together yet, right? This is a supercell thunderstorm right here. Here's another one. Those two haven't really come together in their own little cluster. There's a chance of some really large hail here because there's no impediments to the inflow air and that big updraft that can form. So hail is going to be a big risk with this storm outside of Lawton. Could see 1 to even 2 inch hail. We've seen some reports of that already tonight, and not out of the question that those storms continue as they approach the Red River. The bottom line, Alex, is that we've got weather from basically the Red River all the way into the center of the country and just about everywhere in between.
Yeah, and a lot of it is significant and dangerous. We've seen some storms down near the Gulf Coast out there today. New Orleans looking nice right now, though. The sun going down 74 degrees. This line of thunderstorms we're currently tracking into parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas will make its way down to the Gulf Coast tomorrow morning. So morning threat for places like New Orleans in terms of severe weather. Then we look up towards Atlanta and Montgomery during the afternoon hours for the possibility of a strong or severe thunderstorm. Future radar, there are those storms again, probably around 9 a.m. for New Orleans. But as we go through the afternoon hours, you can see that line extending through parts of Alabama into Georgia. Atlanta probably around the 7 to 8 p.m. time frame. Then overnight, we're looking at parts of the Carolinas, eastern Georgia for some gusty thunderstorms, and could be looking at some stronger storms even into our Thursday across parts of the eastern Carolinas. Also the state of Florida. Got to watch Tampa, Orlando closely during Thursday afternoon. So plenty of spots to watch before that system finally moves out. There's your Thursday threat zone again, eastern, south, and North Carolina, and then down across parts of Florida. Well, coming up on Weather Underground, we get you back to Siloam Springs. Take a look at the wind whipping that flag around, rain coming down. It's torrential with these storms. Mark, of course, watching the radar closely. If you're in the path of these, you need to be inside in that most interior room. Treat this like a tornado warning. These winds are going to be exceptionally strong this evening.
ProPlan Live Clear, a breakthrough, 10 years in the making, that reduces allergens in cat hair and dander. Outstanding nutrition with the power to change lives. This is Purina ProPlan Live Clear.
At Papa John's, we want you to know that from our 450-degree oven to box to you, it's our policy that your pizza is never touched once it comes out of the oven. And we're taking extra steps like no contact delivery to ensure it.
Here's a razor that works differently. The Gillette Skin Guard. It has a guard between the blades that helps protect skin. The Gillette Skin Guard.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once. Huh? Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great. Come
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
And Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual. We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Unbounded, untethered, unhindered. The Duluth Trading No Yank Tank. Forge your way.
Do you know with Spectrum Mobile you can talk and text as much as you want for free? I can afford that. There are no surprise taxes or fees. Even better. And plans start at $14 a month. $14? I spent $14 on this cup of coffee. That's a lot for a cup of coffee. Well, it's got 6 shots of espresso, so. Why would you do that? Because I'm a go-getter. I got big plans for this place. I'm gonna repaint something softer. It's too bright. I'm gonna revarnish this table. You want some sandwiches? I'm gonna make you some sandwiches. With plans from $14 a month and no surprise taxes or fees. Get Spectrum Mobile. I'm making sandwiches and I'm sweeping.
There's no set path, no way you have to be. So why not do what you've been dreaming of? You've got the power, we've got the tools. Make a website with GoDaddy and put what you want out there.
Pain can wear you down, but you're resilient. And Icy Hot No Mess fuels your resilience. Fast-acting, targeted pain relief. Because the deeper you dig, the higher you rise. Icy Hot No Mess.
Is that coming this way? Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof just get ripped off. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster, Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 55 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. South winds shifting to north-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy skies, slight chance of a rain shower, high 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers, low 50. Winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Underground. We are following a line of storms. It stretches from Illinois all the way down to almost the Red River, and almost everyone in between has the potential for some sort of severe storm. Here's the kind of the setup for you. We've got watches that have now been issued through the Little Rock and Memphis areas. Severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. That's the newest issued watch from the Storm Prediction Center. But we still are following our severe thunderstorm watch till 11 through St. Louis, tornado watch along that Oklahoma-Arkansas border, and a severe thunderstorm watch right up against the Red River on the Oklahoma-Texas border. Along that line of storms, we have several different areas that are under warning. In central Illinois, it's severe thunderstorm warning and flash flood warnings. Dr. Nab will talk about that coming up. But what's got to jump out to you, it's jumping out to me, are the tornado warnings east of Springfield. So let's start out there. Several different tornado warnings now. One in Christian and Douglas County. We'll go to the north towards Seymour, and there's another another tornado warning, just kind of updated tornado warning on Webster County. That goes until 8 o'clock. Now, this is an interesting setup because if you look at the motion of the raindrops, there are these kinks in the line where you could have a spin up here, here, or here. So it's kind of 3 different possible spin-up zones with 2 different tornado warnings. This type of signature often kind of walks its way up the line. So as the whole line is going this way, our risk zone is going north, and so it's you put it all together, it's kind of a northeast movement that these storms will have. So if you are north of Thornfield, if you're in Seymour or points just northeast from there, please put as many walls between you and these storms as possible, because there could be a spin-up tornado at just about any point. The Fayetteville area is about to get slammed. Severe thunderstorm warning just issued. Very gusty winds, so severe thunderstorms and that wind potential is pointed right at 49. Look at that curl forward. And then these kind of light blue colors that you're seeing on the velocity mode of the radar indicate 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. The apex of the bow is basically right at Fayetteville. So get ready there for very strong winds. And there are a couple of kinks on that line on that north side towards Bentonville as well, Alex. So it would not surprise me if we wind up with another kind of embedded tornado warning in this area as well.
Absolutely. And Mike Seidel is there in Fayetteville. We're going to head to him. Mike, I would imagine things have really changed over the last few minutes.
Yes, and we've moved in under the shelter of a solid roof and a brick building because of the lightning, and we had a bolt come down just a moment ago that was a bit too close, but that's the northwest sky. You can see almost continuous flashes out there. So far, though, we haven't gotten a whiff of wind. We expect to get some wind here very shortly, but look at the trees. Now, we had wind earlier today through the late afternoon with the mixing of the atmosphere and the sun, and that went away. And as I mentioned about half an hour ago, calm winds, kind of eerie, birds chirping. Still hear the birds chirping. Right now, though, we've just had some heavier showers and lightning flashing really all around us. Now, that one was behind us, that thunder and that lightning. But again, the main impetus of the severe weather is coming in from the west and northwest. This cell is warned for a wind gust in excess of 60 miles an hour and hail. Also, certainly the risk of some very heavy rain and some localized urban flooding over the next hour or so. But the storms are moving pretty quickly, and the rainfall totals, I've checked some of the locations, like Bartlesville, Oklahoma, had a little over an inch of rain in about an hour. So we are getting some very heavy rain, but the storms are not sitting over the same area, so we don't expect any serious flood issues, at least from a flash flood warning perspective. But Dr. Knabb is back in Atlanta. Dr. Knabb, you're always on top of flooding, being the hurricane expert. We do have some concern with flooding in some areas, maybe not right here, certainly in parts of Louisiana, but also some of these areas where they may get some training.
Yeah, it's going to be spotty, but where it does happen, it could be very significant and maybe even life-threatening. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Springfield, Illinois, and near Baton Rouge, Louisiana are areas that are right now under a flash flood warning. But this area could, again, overnight into tomorrow morning become a problem spot as this second line makes it down to places like southeast Texas, Louisiana, that have already gotten a lot of rain today. We had several inches southwest of Houston and in the Beaumont Orange area. We've still got our flash flood warning in effect here just south of Baton Rouge. I-10 between there and New Orleans. The warning goes for another 40 minutes or so. So please stay off the roads. The rain is still coming down, and we've had in the last 3 hours on the order of 4 inches. And some of that came down mostly in 1 hour. That's the kind of rates we've been having. And also a lot of downed trees in that area, southern Mississippi and portions of Louisiana. When the moisture in the soil is high, the winds can take down those trees. So we've got lots of severe thunderstorm warnings and some tornado warnings, as Mark has been telling you about, but we still got the 2 flash flood warnings in the Tulsa area, especially southeast of town in the Broken Arrow area and in Bixby. We've had many reports of water-covered roads. Please stay off the roads, even as the rain tapers off. It'll take a while. That warning is in effect till 10 local time, and we've had almost 3 inches an hour, almost 3 inches in the last 3 hours, and most of that, again, came down in 1 hour. And then finally, we have a flash flood warning up here in the Springfield, Illinois area, including Decatur. That warning's till 10:15 local time, and we've had over an inch an hour. And in Dawson, northeast of Springfield, Alex, reporting of water on the roads. As this line gets down to Louisiana, it's going to be rough tomorrow morning with flooding.
Yeah, a lot to watch. And for all of us here at Weather Underground, we thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night. Remember, together we know more. Our coverage continues next. Storm specialist Carl Parker and meteorologist Chris Warren will be with you to guide you through these storms.
Duracell Optimum will be right where you need them today, tomorrow, the the day after that, and the day after that, day after day. Packaging designed to make storage easier. Duracell Optimum.
Hey, can I
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
That's safe driver, save 40%.
It is. That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here. Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
Oh, look at you.
Don't you worry about paying for all that data?
Oh, no, I'm on Consumer Cellular.
Oh, I've got a great plan with Consumer Cellular, too. I'm always talking to my family, and I send 3 pictures of Cece every day, 1 for each grandchild.
My kids haven't even seen a picture of Bruno.
Get talk, text, and data as low as $20 a month with Consumer Cellular, ranked #1 in customer service by J.D. Power. See how much you can save at consumercellular.com or find us at Target.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Now, more than ever, her love keeps you centered. Show her how much she means to you with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Happy Mother's Day from Kay.
Dream hard. Work fierce. Forge wild. Duluth Trading Fire Hose Pants. Forge your way.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you.
Domino's is hiring. Head to jobs.domino's.com
And apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Severe storms fire up over the plains. This funnel cloud spotted southwest of Houston earlier today. Doesn't look like it reaches all the way to the ground from this vantage point, so not a tornado at this point, but certainly these storms are capable of producing some of these dangerous elements, these tornadoes. Now, that same line of storms pushing from the plains into the Mississippi River Valley from Dallas to Arkansas, north even to St. Louis. We're watching for heavy rain, damaging winds, hail, and the threat for dangerous nighttime tornadoes. So let's get right to it with the latest. There are a lot of warnings out there, so we're going to go into the lab with storm specialist Carl Parker. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Chris, awful lot to tell you about tonight, and there are some tornado warnings now in southern Missouri, so we're going to begin with that. We've got a very energetic atmosphere, a lot of what we call convective available potential energy, a lot of fuel for these thunderstorms, so they're going to be going all night long. You see the big, long line of storms now from Illinois all the way down through Oklahoma. That's going to continue to roll across parts of Arkansas deep into the evening. And tornado warnings, as I mentioned, east now of Springfield. A couple to tell you about. One that is ongoing for Douglas County until 8:15, and then the newest of them to the north here, that is for Wright County, and that is going until 8:30. Now, as we look at these returns here, I want you to notice the little kinks. So you've got a line right through there of very strong winds, but there are kinks that have developed in several areas. There's one there, there's one there, there's a larger one right there, and another one right right in there. So in each of those areas, there is potential for a tornado. Let's first of all go to the north here and track these two out. That's a pretty tight little area of spin. That is coming towards Hartville right now. It's going to be in Hartville probably at about 8:05, so not very long from now at all. It's just about on top of you. And then you've got this one to the south as well. Not as pronounced, but potential for a tornado there. And that is going to be coming towards Crossroads Store. I'm going to circle this very quickly. Let's see if there's any evidence of debris at this time. Not seeing anything that is clear cut there, but certainly you've got a pretty tight little rotation showing up in that area. So heads up in Hartville as you've got a possible tornado coming your way. Then as we go farther south, again, you've got this broader rotation. It's not real tight right now, but that's a pretty sizable area of strong wind that is surging forward. So there is certainly potential for not just a tornado, but a very strong straight line wind. That's just about on top of you in Basher, and it's going to be coming towards Denlow beyond that. And then one more of these little kinks now coming towards Route 5, and that's going to be moving towards Evans and also towards Gardner as well. Stepping this back just a little bit, motion appears to be basically to the east, maybe just a little bit north of east. So these are going to be quick spin-ups generally. They're not going to be long-lasting spin-ups, but rather quick ones. And we'll have more on this threat coming up here in just a moment. We'll go through some of those severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Chris, back to you.
And Carl, we want to get right to meteorologist Mike Seidel, who is live in the thick of things right now. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Chris, we're in Fayetteville, just on the southwest side of town, and the squall line just rolled through here about 3 minutes ago. We were dead calm, and then the winds just come whistling over the hills here in the Ozarks, and now we've got wind and rain. Look at the visual here. This is like a tropical storm now here across this parking lot right off I-49. A little bit of lightning flashing around the area, but not the bolts that were close by about 10, 15 minutes ago. But tremendous amounts of rain, and we'll likely pick up about 3/4 to an inch of rain, but this is moving at about 50 miles an hour, moving very, very fast through northwest Arkansas. The warning goes until 8:30 here in the Fayetteville area and areas around the Fayetteville area. Many counties under warnings. That bolt was back that way, so that's already moved. That cell or that bolt of lightning is already off to our south and east, but just plenty of rain and wind. The winds gusted, I think, earlier about 40 miles an hour. Right now, gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour. Haven't seen any tree limbs or any debris blown around, but just the wind, it just came out of nowhere. We knew it was coming because we've been following it on the radar for all afternoon and evening, and we've seen gusts upwards of 60-plus miles an hour in Springfield and also in Joplin up in Missouri, where they've had, last check, about 8,000 or 9,000 power outages. Louisiana's had the most so far, about 18,000. Now the wind has backed off, still some very heavy rainfall, and you can see the water rushing down the drain. So, Chris, a quick hitter. We knew it was coming. Everybody's hunkered down, and hopefully we won't have a tremendous amount of power outages. But one thing that's happened is the power. Did the power just go out here? No, I think the parking lot lights just went out here in the parking lot. Otherwise, the power is on. The other thing I've noticed, Carl, is the temperature has dropped remarkably here in about 15 minutes, probably about 10, 12, 13 degrees.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. And let's go ahead and take a look at the radar perspective and show you the storm that Mike has been watching. This is it coming right across 49 right now. Benton, Madison, Washington counties under warning until 8:30. And we're looking at a threat for some damaging wind that is now coming through Fayetteville, where Mike is located. Also on the way for Fort Smith, there's a warning to the south as well. And looking at Haskell, LaFleur, and Sequoia counties under warning for potential damaging wind and large hail. Let's time that forward as that moves to the south of east. It's going to be coming in to Salisaw at about 8:20, Muldrow 8:33, and Van Buren at about 8:41. Damaging wind, possible large hail headed your way. Also warnings here near Okmulgee. There's a new one for Haskell, McIntosh, and Pittsburgh counties. We've got a second little line segment that is developed near Haskell, Latimer, and Pittsburgh County as well, and that's going to be moving to the east. Then farther south here, we get into some even greater greater instability. Grady and Stevens County under warning for not just wind, but possibly some 2-inch hail that is larger than golf ball size hail possible with that cell. Also a new warning here for a cell just off of the West Cotton, Jefferson, and Stevens County. Again, very large hail a possibility. Then as we get up into Illinois, we're seeing some warnings now southwest of Champaign and Urbana, primarily for wind, and then a line of storms with a good bit of lightning, but no warnings right now coming into St. Louis and towards that 55 corridor. So looking at the watches here, there is a tornado watch in eastern parts of Oklahoma, northern parts of Arkansas, northwest Arkansas. All the rest of the watches are severe thunderstorm watches, so more of a damaging wind and hail threat, but some possibility for tornadoes as well. The newest of them issued for much of Arkansas going until 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is what I mean by there being a lot of instability, a lot of fuel available for these storms. And this is a way of looking at that. This is a measure of that instability. And where you see the red color there's enough certainly to support severe storms. You get into the orange, you're getting into a higher, more moderate range. But when you get into that yellow and almost whitish color, you're talking about really high, even extreme instability. And that means you're going to get very powerful updrafts and storms that last for a long period of time. And as more of these storms in Oklahoma begin to congeal and turn into a line, an unbroken line of storms, a really significant damaging wind threat is going to drive down through southeast Oklahoma, eventually down into the Metroplex as well. That's going to be later tonight and all across the state of Arkansas. So here's one model interpretation of that, showing you how this may go down. And again, you see how we've got more of an unbroken line of really vigorous storms late tonight. That's 11 o'clock Central Time. So coming down across the Red River there, starting to get into the Metroplex. Along the tail end here, we do see some more discrete cell structures. So we're going to be a little more concerned about these supercells that could produce very large hail and possibly tornadoes in addition to a damaging wind threat. And then we'll watch that continue to drive down across the Metroplex, getting into the Arklatex there as well, about 1 o'clock in the morning, still coming through the south side of Dallas-Fort Worth, a larger metro. And then you see these little Boeing segments developing in parts of Arkansas. And with those, we've got an ongoing wind threat. Now, with all that instability still being in place, these storms are still going to be going strong, even into the overnight hours. Here we're looking at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we've still got very strong line segments and lines of storms coming down into the Houston metro area. Could be a really noisy start for you. Certainly a lot of damaging wind potential, maybe some tornadoes, and again, hail and a lot of heavy rain. That will continue to drive down to the Gulf Coast by the time we get into the early morning hours, largely pushing offshore as the sun is coming up, and some stronger storms coming through New Orleans as well. So, Chris, a lot of people being affected by this, a lot of real estate being covered by this potential severe weather over the next several hours here.
All right, Carl, and over the next 4 hours, we'll be working together. I'm going to have some questions. I want to pick your brain about a few things here, Carl, including, what, is concerning you the most about this, what could possibly kill or dampen some of these storms, if that's even a possibility. So, Carl, we're going to have a lot to go over during the next 4 hours, but right now, one of the spots we're going to be going over is Memphis. 67 degrees right now. You can see some of the wet roads. And what's so important with this, of course, if you are up watching us now, and again, here at the Weather Channel, we're going to be with you, taking you through these storms. Carl and I together for the next 4 hours. And as we do, timing is such an important thing. You got to know when we can finally take a little breath. I know it can be very anxious as you're waiting for these storms to come through. And you're still going to be waiting in Memphis around midnight. So make sure if you're going to sleep that you have a way to be woken up if there is a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning for your area, because by 1 o'clock in the morning, there could be these storms coming through. And if you do have a warning, you need to make sure the family's safe, all in a safe location here, whether it's severe thunderstorm warning or if it's a tornado warning. Through the morning hours, a few leftover showers with some of the strongest storms for Memphis around midnight or later. Here's Dallas. Carl was showing us just a few moments ago. But again, now a closer look at this. And this gives you a general idea of the flavor of the atmosphere, some strong storms, possibly some large hail out of this. And you can kind of see how it's broken. here where there's some strong storms over here and some over here. That's not a guarantee. There's going to be some storms around, and the potential for some of the big ones to come through with some very large hail is definitely there by midnight. Here's 1 o'clock in the morning now coming through Dallas. So between 11 and 1, we're really going to be watching these storms here as they're approaching and then moving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area here, and then again drifting off to the south. Now here we go into the Arklatex. We have Arkansas. We have Louisiana, and we have Texas, and the Red River Valley through here. Shreveport and Bossier City, 9 o'clock this evening. Here comes the storms. Here's 11. Here's midnight now, cruising through Texarkana, crashing a little bit farther to the south. Shreveport, Bossier City, it's going to be heading your way, possibly not until 1 or 2 in the morning and lasting maybe till 3 or 4. So somewhere in that range. So Carl, for a lot of people, this is an overnight thing. Likely going to be sleepless nights for many people, both out of anxiety and just the storms themselves come roaring in with the wind and the rain and some large hail. We've seen some large hail this week in Shreveport and Bossier City already.
Yeah, good night to leave those phones on and by the bed, that's for sure. And we want to get you up to date on these tornado warnings now that are in effect in southern parts of Missouri. A whole series of them ongoing now. This is well east of Springfield. The newest warning for Douglas County that's going until 8:30. Also a tornado warning to the north of that, and that is now for Wright County, also going until 8:30. And so what we're looking at here is a line of storms, a big push of very strong wind, and little kinks that have developed right along the leading edge. And so we see one near Hartville. It's not quite as pronounced as it was moments ago, and these do tend to be a little more transient in nature. Let's go ahead and track that forward, see where it's going to be headed in the next few minutes here. That coming towards Crossroads Store. Also a larger circulation, very broad circulation coming towards Cold Spring and coming towards Ann. But, you know, another thing that really stands out here, and there is, by the way, a downstream, much larger severe thunderstorm warning, that in effect for 70-mile-per-hour wind. And we're really seeing some tremendous wind showing up here in the velocity data. This is off the ground by several thousand feet, but that's 86 miles per hour that is showing up there aloft. And so a lot of that is going to be transferred down to the ground, and that's going to result in some very strong winds, hence the warning for 70-mile-per-hour wind across a huge area in southern Missouri. We want to go now to Fayetteville. That's where meteorologist Mike Seidel is. And Mike, you just got blasted by storms and a good bit cooler right now.
It is down in the low 60s. It was in the mid 70s earlier. And as quickly as it came in, it's now basically moved south and east of us. Look at the radar, the brighter colors, reds and oranges, now south and east at Fayetteville. We're on the southwest side of the city. So there's still lightning in the distance. There's a flash that's probably about 5 or 6 miles away. The rain has lightened up, but we got a really good downpour. And that was cloud to cloud lightning. I've seen some of that, just flashes arcing in the sky. I remember driving one night years ago back from Midland, Odessa, out there in West Texas, and, you know, cloud to cloud lightning the whole way. And I'm seeing some of that right now. This atmosphere is really energized. But again, the severe threat has ended here where we are on this side of Fayetteville. The warning goes until the bottom of the hour, and then the rain will last maybe till about 9 o'clock, and that'll be it. So we've done okay. We'll keep an eye on power outages and see if there's any damage reports. But we've done pretty well in Oklahoma, Carl, and Kansas as far as damage reports, considering what we were thinking how bad it could be with a squall line and potential derecho.
No doubt, Mike. Thank you so much. And we're going to have much more on all of this going through the night tonight. Let's go ahead and get you up to date once again on where some of the more severe storms are right now. And you've got a big, long line of storms now extending through parts of Missouri, just getting into northwest Arkansas and coming down into Oklahoma as well. The vast majority of what we're looking at is a damaging wind threat right now. And that's mostly what we're going to be looking at through the night tonight. But there will be some areas where we'll be concerned about supercells, very large hail is a possibility, especially more towards the southern end of that line, so Oklahoma and getting into Dallas. And right now, some tornado warnings to tell you about in southern parts of Missouri. A tornado warning for Douglas County, also a tornado warning to the north of that for Wright County, but a much larger damaging wind threat, 70-mile-per-hour wind, now racing off of the east. We'll have much more on this coming up in a few minutes.
This is a payday bar, and there's only one thing you need to know about it. It has a truckload of peanuts surrounding sweet caramel. I mean, holy, look at all those peanuts. Best part is it helps you get through your day. Payday. Get to it.
In the next minute, an animal who's been cruelly abused by a thoughtless owner might not survive. Every minute of every day in America, animals are feeling the pain of being abused or neglected. These animals have done nothing to deserve this treatment. And if you agree, then it's time to do something about it. It only takes a minute to help, but it's a minute that will matter more than you can imagine to an animal who's being hurt. So I hope you'll take this minute, right now, and visit this website or call the number on your screen. Join with your gift of just $19 a month, and you can rescue innocent animals from endless suffering. The next minute could mean the difference between life and death for an animal who's being hurt. It's just 63 cents a day, and I can tell you, you will make a difference. So I'm asking you, please, visit our easy-to-use website on any device or call this toll-free number now. And if you join in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this membership kit. It comes with a magazine subscription, an animal photo, and this limited edition Animal Champion t-shirt designed exclusively for our new monthly supporters. Please go online or call now and don't delay, because there's an animal being abused right now, and the next minute of their life could really depend on you.
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer, because Energizer Ultimate Lithium is the longest-lasting AA battery in the world. Energizer, backed by science, matched by...
With Armor All, a little bit of this protects you from a lot of that. Armor All, minimum effort, maximum protection.
When allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief. For 24-hour relief from your indoor and outdoor allergies, say yes to life's possibilities. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
You make me strong when I need it. For you, I'm brave. You, I give you all my love. You, I give you all of my love. You, I give you all my love. Always you on my mind.
Fine retailers.
Oh, this is gonna hit town!
Inside the storm. Every second counts. Deadline to Disaster premieres Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 54 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower, high 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers later at night, low 50. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our coverage of what is going to be a very busy night of severe weather. All hazards tonight. We're talking about damaging wind, very large hail, and also tornadoes. And right now we do have some tornado warnings to tell you about in southern Missouri. You see the big unbroken line of storms there from Illinois all the way into Oklahoma. It'll be going for quite some time tonight, all the way until the sun comes up for parts of Texas and Louisiana. And here are the tornado warnings in southern Missouri. First of all, I've got a tornado warning in effect for Douglas County. That is going until 8:30, and then to the north of that, another tornado warning in effect for Wright County, also going until 8:30, and then a larger damaging wind threat associated with this big bow echo here. Now, if you look closely, you see there are little kinks, and these things do tend to be a little bit more transient in nature. There's one right in there. I'm actually going to put a little bit of a circulation on here so you can get a sense of what the radar is showing us. So that area where you've got a little bit of red and yellow surging forward, and then the darker grayish color right there. There's a little circulation right there, and then arguably you've got some other little circulations farther south. They're not really as pronounced as the one that is near Mountain Grove. So I think at least for the time being, at least for right now, maybe a little bit less of a tornado threat to the south. But that's the nature of these things. They tend to be very transient in nature. You see it sort of tighten up for a second, maybe a scan or two, and then it begins to relax, and then it might happen again. So we've got a possible tornado coming towards Dunn and also coming towards Cass. Then to the south of that, as I mentioned, you've got an area of damaging wind and a whole series of circulations that are along this, but none of them that look really, really profound to me, but there certainly is a very serious damaging wind threat. That's going to be moving into Blanche right now, into Ann, coming towards Bird Springs and Willow Springs as well. 70-mile-per-hour wind is the threat with these storms as they move along to the east. Now, as we take you farther south, got storms now in parts of northwest Arkansas as well as Oklahoma. Big bow echo that came through Fayetteville, an ongoing warning for Benton, Madison, Washington counties, and then to the south of that, warning here for Fort Smith. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning has come out for Crawford and Sebastian and Sequoia counties until 9:15. So that does include Fort Smith, and that's for 60-mile-per-hour wind and quarter-size hail. So heads up on that in Fort Smith. It's not very far away and moving rapidly, Chris, about 55 miles to the east-southeast. Over to you.
All right, Carl, and as Carl's been talking about the threat with these storms, one of the big ones is going to be that wind threat and the potential for damaging winds. And we see that there's the possibility there's going to be tornadoes, which can bring some of the most violent winds on Earth, and then severe thunderstorms, which can bring very strong winds, 60 miles an hour, 70-mile-an-hour winds, a possibility with these severe thunderstorm warnings. So by damaging winds, we're talking about the potential for trees to fall down. And if you live in an area where you have trees around your house, this is a very serious situation. Even if you don't, if your neighbors have doing some work or have left some stuff around, projectiles can go through the air. So we can be dealing with stuff crashing through the windows in a situation with some strong winds. So with that, the threat for some pretty strong winds here, it's not just a possibility, but it is very likely in these areas right here. For southeast Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, where these storms are already coming through, and then eventually it is likely across much of East Texas, parts of south central Missouri, all the way down, including parts of Louisiana as well. So winds are also dangerous and can be very hazardous when you're on the roads. That's a serious danger. Meteorologist Mark Elliott shows us how to stay safe.
High wind events can be deadly, especially if you're caught outside or on the road. Here are a few measures to take if you're caught outside during a high windstorm. If you are not near a sturdy building, take shelter in your car. Move your car to a location where it is least likely to be hit by falling trees or power lines. If you find yourself with no shelter, be mindful of trees, power lines, and the side of the road. Remember, power lines that are on the ground might be live. Do not go near them or touch them. If you're driving, hold the steering wheel with both hands and slow down. Keep a good distance from high-profile vehicles. Trucks, buses, and vehicles towing trailers only need one strong gust of wind to flip on their side.
Oh, of course, we do want you to stay safe. Another thing with the wind is it can push the hail. And we have seen that lately. Storms bringing hail to parts of Oklahoma. In this case, nickel and dime-sized hail falling here in this Sooners fans' yard. Not likely to do too much damage if you have some crops or you have some plants, you have your garden. Yeah, it might tear up some leaves, that sort of a thing. But we talk about the hailstones getting a little bit larger, and we've seen this week across parts of the southern plains and parts of the south. These big hailstones can be driven by the wind into your house, and if you have a greenhouse or just even some of the windows on your home can be smashed because of some of the large hail and the winds driving through. So this is where we are thinking that the hail is likely, in fact, an inch or greater hail is a possibility out of this. In fact, the threat, anywhere there are thunderstorms really with this, going all the way up into Illinois and parts of Missouri, there is going to be the chance for seeing some large hail. And looking at the threat where you would typically expect to see some of the large hail, it's where we're expecting it. It's within this area right in here, and you still have a risk throughout the rest of the South and the Mid-Atlantic and around the Great Lakes. So that's where we are right now. And of course, the way hail forms is we have these very potent, very strong updrafts. So you have this fast rising air, which we're going to have, and we do have with the setup right now. And it just continues to compound. Eventually you get them freezing, growing on top of each other. A lot of warnings to get to after this.
Introducing Tide Power Pods
with cat and net. That is such a large load. Don't the stains sneak through?
New Tide Power Pods can clean that whole situation.
It's like 2 regular Tide Pods and then even more power.
Even the largest of loads get clean. It's got to be Tide.
Now, more than ever, her love keeps you centered. Show her how much she means to you with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Happy Mother's Day from Kay.
Buick and GMC are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once. Huh? Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great. Come here.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
I'm your mother-in-law, and I like to question your every move, like this left turn.
It's the next one.
You always drive this slow.
How did you make someone I love?
That must be why you're always so late.
I do not speed, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise.
Yeah, my son, he did say that you were the safe option.
And that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
So get Allstate.
Stop bossing.
Where good drivers save 40% for avoiding mayhem like me. It's my son's favorite color. You should try it. You always drive like an old lady.
You're an old lady.
Give us some more.
Hey, allergy muddlers.
It's you.
Do your sneezes turn heads? Try Zyrtec. Zyrtec starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Zyrtec, muddle no more.
And try Children's Zyrtec for consistently powerful relief of your kids' allergies.
Is that coming this way?
Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof just get ripped off. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster, Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to our coverage of severe weather, and we have a new tornado warning to tell you about now in southeastern Oklahoma, and this is now well south and east of Oklahoma City. Your threat is done for tonight. It's going to be in southeastern Oklahoma and eventually down into North Texas, where we expect to find the greatest threat for severe weather over the next several hours, certainly also in Arkansas as well. Let's take a look at this new warning in the southeastern part of the state. That is Pittsburgh and Pushmataha counties under warning until 9:30, and so the rotation showing up. You see that area where it's a little bit of a brighter blue color and then a darker color as well. Right there, that is where the circulation is sitting. And so that is now to the west of Clayton, moving just a little bit to the south of east. And so that'll be coming into Stanley here in just the next few minutes, into Clayton at 8:41, Neshoba 8:51, and Nolia at 8:51 as well. I'm going to circle this area where we're seeing the rotation right now. Let's see if there's any debris showing up right now. Not seeing any evidence of debris, at least not right now, but certainly a dangerous storm headed your way. And in addition to that threat for a tornado, could be some very large hail as well. That's going to be coming right towards Clayton. Let's get a look at what we're expecting here, talking about possibly some large hail coming through that area on the order of, I would think, a couple of inches possibly with that storm. Now, let's take you farther northeast, and you've got also a warning for Haskell and Latimer and LaFleur counties going until 9:15, and then a big line of storms behind that. Also, storms now closing in on Fort Smith, not very far away, 60-mile-per-hour wind threat in Fort Smith. Tracking that forward, the leading edge of that kind of depends on where you are in the area, but that's going to be coming in very, very shortly, probably within about 10 minutes or so into Fort Smith. Then down into southern parts of Oklahoma. This is getting very close to the Red River. Got a threat for some 2-inch hail here. Carter, Jefferson, and Stevens counties under warning until 9:15. And look at the history of this storm. A lot of reports of golf ball size hail. Comanche, Marlow, and Chickasha as well. All reports of golf ball or larger hail as this cell has been driving southward. Could continue to be very nasty coming down into North Texas and eventually into the Metroplex as well. Now, as we get up into Missouri, we've been watching this line of storms for possible tornadoes. Right now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that for Douglas and Howell and Texas counties going until 9:15. What we are seeing here is a pronounced area of strong wind. Some little kinks developing within that, but they have not reissued the tornado warning. But what we do see is an area of very strong wind all along there, and that's where we could be looking at some 70-mile-per-hour wind. That coming towards Cass and West Plains, towards Pierce and Mountain View. All of those areas heads up for exceptionally strong damaging wind, maybe enough wind to actually knock down some tree limbs and some power lines as that comes through. Farther north up into eastern Missouri as well as Illinois, down to one warning now just southwest of Champaign. That a warning for Macon, Moultrie, and Shelby counties. And you've got a line of storms coming through St. Louis right now, but no warnings on these, and they are weakening at this time. Chris, let's get back to you.
And Carl, we are still seeing some of these storms rolling through parts of Arkansas. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's in the northwest part of the state. He had some strong storms come through a little bit earlier. How are things going now, Mike?
It's much better now. They're all off to our south and east. Down towards Fort Smith, we have the warnings that Carl just talked about, and that line extends up to our north and east, all the way into Harrison, excuse me, up into the Ozarks. So it's all pulling through here. We've got some light rain right now coming straight down. The wind is gone. The wind came roaring over the hill here. We're in the Ozarks right after 8 o'clock here in Fayetteville, and it blew pretty good for about 7 or 8 minutes. And that was it. Now, the airport only reports observations at least this evening every hour, so I don't have the official wind gust measurement, but I'm estimating out here we gusted certainly over 40, maybe close to 50 miles an hour. But the power is on, no power out here, and we haven't seen anything come down out of the trees, limbs or leaves or anything. So not enough wind to cause any issues, at least at our spot. But that has not been the case across the Mid-South and over through the Arklatex. We've had wind damage reports. Actually, the number one reported item this evening is the hail. A lot of reports of 1 inch to 2, even over 2.5-inch hail, especially in parts of Oklahoma earlier this evening. So right now we're just waiting for the rain to wind down. The severe threat is over with, and we're going to be in good shape for the rest of the evening. So let's go back to Atlanta, and we're going to go to Carl or Chris?
All right, Mike, thank you so much.
One of the two. There's only two choices.
Mike, thank you so much. And let's take a look. This is the hail that you mentioned there. And report here just west of Duncan Central High, hail size 2.8 inches. That is baseball size hail. That is a huge hailstone, certainly enough to cause major damage to cars and also to roofs. And so that is this cell that is now driving southward and getting towards the Red River. Ongoing warning here for 2-inch hail, Carter, Jefferson, and Stevens counties until 9:15 Central Time. And we're going to watch all of this eventually make its way down towards the Metroplex into Dallas and Fort Worth come another couple of hours or so, starting to get into the northern part of the Metroplex. And we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Buick and GMC are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
Now, more than ever, her love keeps you centered. Show her how much she means to you with a gift from the Center of Me collection. Happy Mother's Day from Kay.
Got it?
Got it.
It's slippery.
Yes. Quick! The Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand.
Hey, look. I got it.
Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
Hey, Boston.
Hey, Atlanta.
Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be. Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting and sure, with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
ProPlan Live Clear, a breakthrough, 10 years in the making, that reduces allergens in cat hair and dander. Outstanding nutrition with the power to change lives. This is Purina ProPlan Live Clear.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back. We are following severe weather now in parts of Oklahoma and extending up into Arkansas and Missouri and also into Illinois. And let's begin in Oklahoma, where there is now a tornado warning in effect in the southeastern part of the state. This is well south and east of McAllister, Pittsburgh, and Pushmataha counties under warning until 9:30. So we're seeing a circulation now west of Clayton. You can see that area of sort of brighter blue there, and then also a darker shade right in the area just to the north and west of that. And Not seeing any evidence of debris at this time, but certainly there is potential for a tornado. It's a pretty strong circulation coming towards Clayton in just a few minutes here, 8:46, and then moving towards Neshoba by about 8:57. So heads up there. Possible tornado coming your way. Could be some large hail with that cell as it comes through as well. To the north of that, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Haskell and Latimer and LaFleur counties. Got a big line that is beginning to come in behind that. Also warning now for Fort Smith. The weather just about on top of you in Fort Smith. Could be some 60-mile-per-hour wind as this comes through. 1-inch hail also a possibility, and a heck of a light show. I mean, look at this. If you look at the entire line from eastern Oklahoma into northwest Arkansas, you're talking about nearly 2,000 strikes in just the last 15 minutes. Just a tremendous amount of lightning showing up here, and so it's going to be a heck of a light show. Make sure you've got some safe shelter there in Fort Smith and all these areas in eastern Oklahoma as this comes through. Then into southern Oklahoma, Carter, Jefferson, and Stevens counties under warning until 9:15 for very large hail. We've had some reports of baseball-size hail. Right now the warning is for 2-inch hail. That's a little bit larger than golf ball-size hail. And you can see where this is relative to Dallas and Fort Worth. So over the next couple of hours, it's going to start edging ever closer into the northern part of the Metroplex, maybe the exurbs, getting into, say, 10 to 11 to midnight tonight. And then here, we're going to see these storms moving not quite as quickly. Even though they're moving along very quickly farther north, they're moving at about 30 miles per hour to the south. So it is going to take some time for them to get down into Dallas and Fort Worth, but we certainly could be talking about some very large hail, damaging wind. Damaging wind's really going to be the main thing that comes through Dallas and Fort Worth, but large hail will be a possibility, and we can't rule out tornadoes as well as these cells come on in. Now, as we get you into southern parts of Missouri, we had been looking at some tornado warnings in this area, now down to a severe thunderstorm warning, but a big bow echo here. You see this big backwards C shape just like that. And along with that, got a surge of very strong winds coming through. Could be some 70-mile-per-hour wind. In fact, we're seeing that surge showing up pretty well on the radar. Let's go ahead and query some of these areas. There you see an outbound velocity of 69 miles per hour. That is aloft. It's not down at the ground, but still giving you an idea of just how much power there is in these storms. And so tracking this area out, taking this forward, that's going to be coming towards Mountain View and West Plains as well. Moving into Willow Springs more immediately, West Plains at 8:50, and then coming into Chapel at about 9:01 or so. Very strong straight line winds headed your way here in southern parts of Missouri. Let's get back over to Chris. Chris?
Some new video into the Weather Channel right now. Tornado sirens wailing here with a tornado-warned storm as it was rolling through Tulsa, Oklahoma just a few hours ago. With this, hail the size of golf balls. Also, heavy rain and intense lightning. This was the scene also here in another location in Broken Arrow. We can show you in Oklahoma as the line of storms we're rolling through here. Magnificent scene off in the distance here, and also here in this location, golf ball size hail reported, and these wind gusts around 50 miles an hour. This severe weather threat now happening into the nighttime, into the overnight hours. This is where that severe weather threat does remain, and you can see the areas that are going to be impacted by this, from the Gulf Coast in Texas all the way up to the shores of Lake Michigan. We have the chance here for some of these stronger storms. It's possible all the way up into Milwaukee and as far south as New Orleans and even to the coast. Very likely, though, in the purple areas, in the darker red, it is likely. So what we're saying, that's all to say, we are expecting there to be some of the stronger storms with more large hail, with potentially damaging winds, and can't rule out tornadoes. Do have tornado warnings to get to here in just a moment. Want to time out some of these storms as they're approaching Dallas. As Carl was talking about, damaging winds going to be a big threat with this. There's going to be storms already on the other side of the border with Oklahoma, but going through the Red River Valley here around Gainesville around 10 o'clock and then coming through and into the Dallas area before, during, or after the midnight hour. So heads up, it's just a matter of time now before these storms come rolling through. And it's always just a matter of time before that next warning. We do have a new tornado warning to tell you about, so we'll go back to Carl.
Yeah, that's right. This is now east of Fort Smith. That is Franklin County under tornado warning right now. We're watching a big line of storms coming through with primarily a damaging wind threat, but a little area, a little surge that has developed. You see that little bit of a kink right in there, a little notch right in there, sort of a dog leg. That's where there is a potential rotation, and that is now moving just a little south of east and north of Interstate 40. So taking that forward, that's going to be coming towards Batson as well as Woodland if it's still going at that time. So a possible tornado coming your way, but a much larger damaging wind threat as well. Now moving into Fort Smith, and just an intense lightning show here across parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma. We'll have much more on this severe night coming up.
I just love hitting the open road and telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering current Chevy owners OnStar Crisis Assist services and complimentary Wi-Fi data. To help keep you on the road, the Chevy Certified Service Experts are here and ready to help if you require parts, maintenance, or repairs. You can even schedule your service appointments online. It's just our way of doing our part.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
There is nothing love can't do. Love is strong, beautiful. Love makes us rise and heal and overcome. There's nothing that love can't do.
Our love is a diamond.
If you found your true love, let's find the right ring at Zales.com. Get 0 down special financing on the Diamond credit card on purchases of $300 or more. Zales, the Diamond Store.
The story of the Kind Mini. We took the full-size bar and cut it in half. So the next time it's 3 o'clock and you want some delicious dark chocolate, grab a dark chocolate nuts and sea salt mini with whole almonds and just 90 calories. It's a kinder way to satisfy.
What is this?
Why do they do that? I don't know.
Who is that sexy to?
Nobody. No one ever.
LAPD, don't move!
These people are dangerous.
Yeah, me too. This family means everything to me.
You blew up the port of LA.
You're exaggerating. It's one boat.
Mama, Mama.
Why do I keep falling asleep during the day? What's making me so tired? I kept asking myself these questions. It felt like I was more than tired. Then I was diagnosed with narcolepsy. There are 5 major symptoms. I waited too long to take action, but you don't have to. Visit morethantired.com now. Take the narcolepsy symptom screener and find a sleep specialist to share your results. Don't wait. Visit morethantired.com today.
Is that coming this way?
Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof is different. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster, Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 53 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 46. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, cloudy, slight chance of a rain shower. High 54. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers later at night. Low 50. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our coverage of a very active, severe night across the central part of the country. And these storms have a lot of fuel to work with, which means they're going to be going for a long time tonight, all down across the eastern part of the Lone Star State and right down to the Gulf Coast by tomorrow morning. Right now, we're watching a couple of tornado warnings. One of those in southeast Oklahoma, that is Pittsburgh and Pushmataha counties under warning. And this thing has actually tightened up some. This is actually a stronger circulation that is showing up now just west of Clayton. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can see any evidence of debris. In this case, we're shooting fairly far up, so would not be surprised if we couldn't see anything. But I will tell you that is a pretty strong rotation that is now showing up in the radar here. There's a brand new scan, so heads up, it is time now to get to your safe place in Clayton as you've got a possible tornado coming your way, and this is going to be on top of you in just moments. So timing that out. As that moves just a little south of east, that'll be coming into Clayton at 8:56. Actually, we've got a brand new scan there. I'm going to move that forward just a little bit. And so that'll be coming into Clayton 8:53. So we're talking about a couple of minutes here as this moves rapidly off to the southeast. You do not have time to react. Time now to get to your safe place there in Clayton. You've got just a few moments to do that, and you don't have time to go out and try to figure out if you can see it or anything like that. Just please get to your safe place right now in Clayton, as there's a very strong, at least mid-level circulation showing up in this storm, and so there certainly is potential for a tornado to come in. Also notice there is a circulation that's back up here near Kiowa as well, or Kiowa. That is just east of Route 69. No tornado warning on that as of yet, but there certainly is enough wind shear in this area to be supportive of supercells and rotating storms. But again, warning, looks like we've got a brand new warning for Clayton in this surrounding area. Let's take a look at that. And so new tornado warning here, now moving east. 20 miles per hour, so it has slowed a good bit, moving east to 20 miles per hour right now. That's going to give you a little bit more time. Let me go ahead and redraw that, given that motion, and see what kind of time that gives us. And as we take a look at that once again, okay, so that's giving you a few more minutes. That's giving you maybe another 6 to 7 to 8 minutes before it comes into Clayton. But that is a pretty strong circulation now showing up there. So again, if you're in Clayton, please take cover immediately and give yourself plenty of time to get out of the way of that storm. Now, here up into parts of Arkansas, this is Franklin County. And that's under warning for a possible tornado until 9 p.m. That warning coming out of the Tulsa office, and then to the east of that, another warning coming out of the Little Rock office. That is for Johnson County. And so as we look at this, we see that there is a little kink that has developed right in there. I'm going to look and see what's going on in the velocity data. It's not, what I would call profound, but certainly there is a circulation there showing up right in this area, and that is near Batson right now, and it's moving towards the east-southeast. So taking that forward, that'll be coming into, looks like Edna here in the next few minutes, Woodland at 9:18, Clarksville at 9:30, and Lamar at about 9:45 or so. So possible tornado coming your way. Please take cover immediately in this area as well. And boy, what just a heck of a light show. I mean, look at this. That has grown. That has stepped up just in the last few minutes here. Last time we looked at that there, and it just recalculated once again. I mean, the computer's constantly doing this, but what we've been seeing consistently is about 2,000 lightning strikes all along this line from southeast Oklahoma into northwest Arkansas. There we go up to 2014, 2281 there, the most recent calculation. That is a terrific amount of lightning. So we've got major electrical storms coming across huge areas of southeastern Oklahoma and also Arkansas. So please do keep that in mind. Now, some warnings to tell you about in southern Oklahoma, and these cells have had a history of producing very large hail. We had a report of baseball-size hail east of Lawton, 2.8-inch hail. Now warning for Carter, Jefferson, and Stevens counties, and that is for 2-inch hail. Warning just to the south of that, actually ping-pong ball-size hail is the current warning. This most recent warning just to the south of that. Also warning for Ardmore right now. Let's take a look at the threat here. That's going to be coming right across 35. And again, a large hail threat, looking at quarter-size hail. But the most significant hail-producing part of this storm is now near Carter and Jefferson and Love counties. And again, just give me a second to adjust the speed on this, because these are not moving as quickly as they are much farther north. Coming to the southeast, about 30 miles per hour. So that'll be moving towards Wilson more immediately. Nocona after that, Montague or Montague beyond that at about 9:30 or so. But then after that starts to come down into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of instability here. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and show you that in this area. Instability is basically fuel for thunderstorms. It's warm and humid air along with the temperature profile as you go up through the atmosphere. And if it's getting cooler, significantly so, and it's real warm downstairs, well, when updrafts are in that environment, they want to punch up really rapidly, and that rapid punching up is what gives you the really tall updrafts that are more capable of producing large hail and damaging wind. So, as we look at the fuel, at the instability, you see how it's waning a little bit up in this area. It's going to continue to get sort of pinched off over the next couple of hours here. But down to the south, more towards Dallas, it's off the charts. Tremendous instability, which means large hail, damaging wind coming your way. Much more coming up.
When the present is unpredictable, it's important to stay focused on the future. Personalized, goal-based financial advice can help you navigate today while still staying on track for your long-term financial goals tomorrow. At Ameriprise Financial, that's what we've done for over 125 years, and what our advisors will continue to do for generations to come. Ameriprise Financial.
There's never been a better time for Millionaire, because it's on a whole new night. This Thursday, will any celeb go all the way?
I don't want to embarrass myself anymore. Can we just go home?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Thursday on ABC.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. That's why Modelo is donating $500,000 to the First Responders First Initiative to support the workers on the front line against COVID-19. For fighting for us, we raise a beer to you. Modelo, food for those with a fighting spirit.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2,